So, I just had a burger. And I think we need to talk.
Battery fully charged.
Not you. But you're fully charged, so I'm gonna hit. What we need to talk about is... You know what we're here to talk about. You know what this episode is. I don't need to explain this to you. So I don't know if this is the last episode or the penultimate episode, but I think we are about to walk into some real stuff. So for starters, let me go to this. There is one person on this who has avoided this corkboard at all points. He never made the who could be an Ouroboros, and I think that's for the best. I don't think he is. He never made the who put the baby in the box. Actually, for what I'm thinking, I don't think he's in that list either. In the list of who killed Guy Bannings, I think there's a world where we might have to put him here as well. But I'm gonna do some crossing out. And let's talk about it. So for starters... where are we? Which layer do I want this on? Pardon me, this layer. Yeah, let's put it on this layer. For starters... let's name him. Dr. Gunther. That's not his name, but that's what I'm spelling it as. He's the fish general, like the ring general Gunther. He's avoided this list, and I think I may have messed up not putting him on this list. Because as the week went on, I think about this game sometimes. And I think it would make a lot of sense, actually, if he was the one distributing the drugs. Because it would be really easy for him to do. Let's talk about it. So the one thing that I was kind of thinking about who is actually really behind a lot of this was mainly, like, who could have given... who has access to, like, government people so easily they could have slipped, Ernest those drugs. And I don't know where I wrote that. Here. It's in this DG. And I said not the mayor, maybe somebody higher up. He could just be the doctor of Ernest. And it's a lot of sporadic people in the sense that I'm thinking he really just could be their doctor for all of them. Because he's just a doctor at St. Ursula. He could just be distributing those drugs through St. Ursula. You know? So I think there's a world where maybe it's not just Dr. Gunther. Actually, no, he's the only one with a character sprite at St. Ursula besides Cecile. Cecile could be in danger at this point now that I'm thinking about it. I think there's a real world where Dr. Gunther is... Is there a world where he's actually a part of the cult? That's where I'm setting. Because at this juncture, I think he is, a main antagonist. And there's one other reason why I think this. And it's just because there's two things. And it's really because we're at the end of the game, and I know that we're going to St. Ursula to get the stuff for the drug. And he hasn't called us back yet, and that's a little suspicious. Not a little, it's a lot of suspicious. But that's also not the main thing. I was like, hey, he could just being like, he could be getting like, not kidnapped, but maybe kidnapped, or maybe someone's holding him hostage who's really in charge of this. Last episode, and I think this is something that I'm going to go with. You know how I said, is Kia even human? I still think that's a real question, but I don't think she's a doll. I think we're past that. That being said, I do think she might be a daughter of Idios. Because this entire time I've been thinking, like, Kia either stands for something, like it's a shorthand for, like, her first name starts with Ki and her last name, means, her last name starts with an A. But I think that last name could actually be related to Idios, and this may be, like, actually key to Idios. You know what I mean? I said that as a joke last time, but I think the more I think about it, the more that could be a possibility. I'm trying to be more concrete in my theories right now because we are at the very end of the game, so I feel like I just gotta make some straight shots, and I gotta shoot. And if I miss, I miss, because, you know, I kind of missed with the last game. But you know what, I feel like I still did okay with that game, even though they hit me with some twist, and I know this game's about to hit me with some twist. I'm just trying to predict what that twist is going to be. Dr. Gunther, at this point in the game, I feel like would be a twist because I trusted him. He was my fishing brother. And maybe that's the only reason I trusted him. Maybe this entire time you guys have been like, Avi, you don't think he's sus? And I'm like, no, of course not. That's my fishing dude. We caught the fish together. He might be bad. In fact, at this juncture in the game, I really do think he might be bad. And I hate that. But I digress. I wanted to come down here, and I need to come to the crossout layer, because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Rin said something really, really, really wild. And it's that Ouroboros is not involved, at least she doesn't think they are. So, I think most of this is wrong. I really don't think they killed Guy. I don't know if they're working with the cult anymore. I do think the cult might be a real thing. So at this juncture, I think I may not need to focus on Ouroboros. I think this is all kind of a part of Ouroboros' design, maybe. But I think there's a world where they really aren't so much involved, but maybe much like in Erebonia, Erebonia has its own thing going on, where Ouroboros is kind of just off to the side saying, hey, yeah, maybe do this, maybe do that. I think there's a world where they are also like, hey, maybe do this, maybe do that, on the side talking to someone. And I think that could be the mayor, and it could be somebody higher up. It could be Speaker Hartman or somebody from the speaker chamber. It could be Dieter Croy for all I know, but I would really hope it's not Dieter Croy. But at this juncture, I as much as I hate saying I don't want to suspect Dieter Croy because that's my dude, I have to suspect Dieter Croy because at this juncture, I kind of am suspecting all of Crossbow. And let me talk to you why. Either Crossbow or Calvard, because I think I am actually going to eliminate Erebonia as a part of this stuff. I think maybe this is, I think maybe some of this is tied to this, but I don't think it's the main reason a lot of this is going on. I think that here's what I think what's going on. In terms of what I think this game is going to do. I really do think Kia is... Who is this Find Me? Is it Kia? Yo, I don't know who the heck Find Me is, dude, but I think it might be Kia. In some regard. It might be Kia's, like, memories or Kia's true form. Maybe the cult was able to, like, actually split Kia up. Because, you know, they worship the fiends. Don't forget about that. They worship fiends. So I think that they might have captured Kia, and maybe someone saved Kia from the cult and put her in the box. But at this juncture, I don't know who would... I was gonna say, I don't know who would do that. So let's just make something up. You know what I mean? That's what we have to do at this point, because we're at the end of this game. Once again, I said there's either going to be the end of the game or almost the end of the game. So here's my two running theories. I think it is actually potentially Calvard, and here's what I think it might be about Calvard. I think that they might be potentially using Crossbell to slice through Erebonia. I think Erebonia has been really depicted as this big, brutish place, but I think maybe, because, you know, they have their rivalry. They're really on not great terms with Calvard. There's this whole non-aggression pact for a reason. I feel like there's a world where Calvard is using Crossbell to get to Erebonia, and that's how they're trying to, like, wrap around the non-aggression pact. You know what I mean? I think that world exists. That being said, I think that also explains that could be the first part of my, like, theory here. Like, there's a world where people are doing this to gull demons to go to war with Erebonia. I think that could also be the case, but it might... Oh. So if that is the case, there's a world where that happens, but here's the problem. I don't know if that's true. I think that could be true if it's Calvard, and, you know, because it seems like Hiwe is kind of separated from a lot of what's going on. So I think that world exists where it is like a Calvard to Crossbell through to Erebonia. However, I could see it being completely isolated in Erebonia to prong both ways to oust all of the Calvard and the Erebonia from Crossbell, because that's really the major part of their dilemma. They can't really be Crossbell when they are plagued with Mafia from Calvard, Mafia from Erebonia, Diet members who are essentially both working for the good of Calvard and Erebonia, but not really for the good of Crossbell. That has been the story of this game. So, that's where I think this is actually gonna go. The problem with that is, I can see that world existing, but I don't think I can see it existing with this cult. Which is why I'm thinking there's two different things going on, but maybe not? The big picture is, I think there's two different things going on here. I think there's this cult thing, and I think that there's this overarching Crossbell thing. Mainly because I think... But if they were calling demons, then they would just be with the cult. Well, dang, dude. I didn't really think about this before I started yapping. I just wanted to come in here and, like, get out all of my thoughts fresh, because I've been thinking about it through the week. And I haven't really looked at any old videos, because I don't want to do... I also don't know what that D thing stands for, and I don't think that's going to get revealed until the end of this game. Which kind of sucks. I couldn't find any D words when I was doing my research either. You know what I mean? When I was looking through all the books in the library. How much time do I have left on the song? I wanted to spend no more than 20 to 25 minutes just thinking and theorizing, because you guys seem to actually like the Corkboard Time. I peak at... I actually do peak a little bit at the retention. I was like, if people don't like the Corkboard that much, I'll take like 5 to 10 minutes about it. But y'all like some Corkboard Time. So, admittedly, I feel really good about this key to Idios thing. I feel like it really is potentially that. After reading that book about the wolves and the girl, I think it really could be that. This episode is also going to be a lot of me yapping and reading, because we are going to read through that book. I wonder if anything in that book is going to be like, ooh, I wonder if this and this and this could be that. Back alley doctor, you know, that we'll think about that. I think it is Dr. Gunther. Let me read Back Alley Doctor first. Because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Back Alley Doctor now makes me actually think it is potentially Dr. Gunther being the doctor of potentially like Ernest and Dino and all the other people. And he just gives them drugs saying, hey, this'll make you all better. It'll fix you right up. It may be in like, you know, and then it, you know, it causes things to spread. But maybe the first person he tested on was him, and then maybe he just illegally gave it to other people. I don't know. But then there's this mafia. How did they get their hands on it? Maybe he just gave it to him, man. I don't know. Wait, which mafia goons were in the hospital? It was Hiwei's were in the medical hospital. I'm trying to remember if, oh man, I can't remember. I was gonna say, if I can remember any time where the Ravash goons were in the hospital, that would really help me with believing this theory. But I don't know yet. Here, let me do type B real quick. Phantasmal Blaze Plan, I got nothing about that. Anywho, here's what I think is going to happen. And this is also a big reason why I didn't really suspect Dr. Gunther, and it's the biggest reason why I suspect him now. I didn't think Kia was going to be the person that we were going into the pit to get, to be honest. I wasn't sure who it was gonna be. Because I figured, oh, well, Kia's definitely the person, because I remember Lloyd was like, remember, we have someone we promised to come back to. I figured that was going to be Kia. And then I realized that Shizuku is going to be with us during this chapter at the SSS building. And that is so heartbreaking to me. Because I was like, man, Kia's safety is riding high right now. And then the second they were like, hey, you stay at the building in this final chapter, it skyrocketed down. It plummeted, dude. So now I do think Kia's gonna be down there, and that does make me think Kia is potentially the key to Aidios, maybe a child of the goddess. And I think now the biggest thing that maybe, at least, he might not be the person behind it all, but at least Dr. Gunther is probably a part of this, is that he was very insistent on having Kia stay with him at the hospital. And now that gives me terrible vibes, because at first I was like, oh yeah, he's just trying to help. If Kia did not throw that tantrum, boy, I think we would be in some bad news bears. Because I think they are either trying to sacrifice her or use her to do a thing. And also, there's something, so let's talk about Kia real quick. She got those blue powers. That might just be goddess stuff, you know what I mean? It might be child of the goddess stuff. She was like literally glowing when she was cooking some stuff. That's just weird though. She has some sort of ability as a child of the goddess, but it was not like in the book that I read. So that's where I am. That being said, the book that I read, this child of the goddess, I don't know, she had a real name. So I don't know why Kia doesn't, unless she's like a part of herself and like she really was like split and we are trying to find the other part of Kia. You know what I mean? To make Kia whole. That's where I am right now with Kia. I think that this cult, whether it is Dr. Gunther in his entirety or not, I think he might have some help somewhere. But if it is, then, you know, that's what he's doing. I think that's what's going on. I think he wants Kia, and I think that's why Kia is going to be down there. And I think it does help now with the reasoning, like, oh yeah, I really do think she should have done that, but hey, if she changes her mind, nah. So I don't like him anymore. Unless I'm wrong, But considering we're going here for the final chapter, unless someone is like holding him hostage, in which case I will write a 2-page apology to Dr. Gunther. That's on me. The problem that I have here is we have to make the, and this is just with trails in general, we have to make the assumption that this is either somebody we've met or we've heard about. And I don't think there's anybody else that we've heard about that we haven't met. For the most part, you know what I mean? So I think Dr. Gunther, I think he's a part of the cult. In fact, I feel confident enough, kind of, to put, Gunther, B. Colton. I believe that, and I think he wants Kia to, I don't know, get some demons or something. I think that's where we are with you. That being said, I still don't think that's all that's going on. I am still in the middle of, do I think it's Crossbell that is doing something higher up here, or is it Calvard that's doing something higher up here? If it isn't actually Calvard, and I think here's the thing, I think it is the same thing that's happening in Erebonia, where somebody is getting the assistance of Ouroboros, but I'm hoping and I'm praying that it's not the mayor, and I don't, because he wants the best for Crossbell. Man, I hate to be this guy. I don't like this. But this has to be either the mayor or Dr. Croy. And I hate to say it like that, because I like Dr. Croy a lot. It's gotta be one of those two, because this game is gonna end with a twist. And that twist, it has to either be, and I don't think we know anyone from Calvard except for Kilika. Yes, I forgot her name last time. That's on me. I apologize to my sweet being, my beloved Kilika. That being said, man, if it's not Calvard, I think it has to be Crossbell. Because I really, at this juncture, feel like it isn't Erebonia. I feel like Erebonia has something separate going on that is maybe tangentially related to us. And I think that, you know, I know that they are getting, like, eased in by Ouroboros. I think same thing may be happening in a similar veil here in Crossbell, but I don't know who. And it makes me less certain, because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. She said she didn't think Ouroboros was involved, so unless it's somebody from Ouroboros who she doesn't know, in which case it would be, like we talked about earlier, potentially a new enforcer. It would be kind of nuts and crazy. If it was Ilya, that would be awesome. Ooh, wait, I guess, you know, we do have... But Yin didn't put Kia in the box. I still don't know who put Kia in the box. That's out of my hands. I do think that whoever put Kia in the box did save her from the cult. I think she came from the cult. I think that she was a big part of this cult's plan, and somebody saved her, but I don't know who would have saved her from the cult. And I don't know why they would have put them in the place. You think it's Wazi? He got there 2 years ago. Here's the problem. I think whoever is working in Crossbell, I think whoever is working, if this Crossbell thing is correct, and I feel like it's something of that nature, either Crossbell or and I don't think it can be Calvar. We haven't met too many people from Calvar. I think whoever did that is a part of, I guess it's a person. I don't want Dieter Croy killing our brother. I could see it being Grizz, I guess. I would like to say Grizz more than Dider-Croy, but I guess really see it being Dider-Croy. Honestly, at this point, I don't think it's... Oh. Now, hold on a minute. I don't know. I was gonna say Arios might actually be my #1 suspect, dude. I'm trying to think. Oh, you know? Arios did have that conversation with Ren. Is there a world where Arios is the mastermind behind whatever Crossbell plan there is? And he did kill Guy? Because Guy maybe, like, didn't agree with it? Oh, dude. Oh, man. Oh, boy. I think that world could exist, actually. Could it? And this is purely based on... I don't think anyone from Ouroboros is behind this. Ren had this conversation with Arios, and Arios was like, don't interfere with this land as long as, you know, you don't interfere with us. That is, now that I think that Crossbell could be up to something itself, makes Arios seem really, really suspicious. Yo, it's crazy. How I've gone to just like, you know, out of the blue saying, hey yo, Dider-Croy, I don't like her. She is smart. Yeah, I can see her being a part of it. But like, I actually do think it might be Arios. Arios, I'm gonna, here, this sounds crazy, but I'm gonna lock in Arios for being behind whatever is going on with Crossbell. I don't think he's, I think he's looking out for Crossbell and for his baby girl. In a way to build a better Crossbell for her. Because he, admittedly, and I hate to say it like this, has been missing a lot. That being said, Cassius Bright was also missing a lot, but we didn't know where he was at any time. We always knew kind of where Arios was going. And it was always listed on the Braces board. I just didn't keep a track of that for real, for real. I think if I did, there's likely really kind of a map saying, wow, it's kind of suspicious how he's going to these specific places at these specific times. I don't know for sure, but this might be my long shot. I'm gonna lock in Arios for Crossbell up to something, and I'm gonna lock in, I'm gonna lock in Arios for Who Killed Guy. I think that's where I am at this point. I think in terms of my Who Killed Guy things, I'm gonna go Arios. I think he's my #1. I think, on a list of people here, I guess, I really don't think it's Dr. Gunther. I think it has to be someone who is, closer to us, and closer to Guy. I think it has to hurt, because I think that's how this game functions. Just like the third, baby. So I think I'm gonna go Arios. I'm gonna go Grizz or Croy second. I don't know if Dider-Croy has ever talked about our brother specifically. So I'm gonna go Grizz second because he's got a room that's locked, and y'all know I don't trust in any locked rooms. And I'm actually going to, shockingly enough, I'm gonna take Dider-Croy for third. I was gonna say I want to take Bales because I don't want to implicate anything on Dider-Croy, but truth be told, he runs a big bank, and that is literally the Mira capital of the world. If they have more control than you think. If they got control of the mirror, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go Arios for Who Killed Guy. In terms of what I think is going on, I do actually believe it's the cult. I don't know if Dr. Gunther is actually a member of the cult, or maybe he's like a cult sympathizer, or maybe he just is fascinated by what the cult's medicine was doing, and maybe he's trying to do something with it. I think that's correct, but I also think that this is happening. I don't know what this is actually good for, though, because now I'm thinking, like, I was gonna say, I don't know what Crossbow would do anymore, because if the cult is real, that means Crossbow's not trying to call some demons. But I do think it was higher-ups in Crossbow who killed Guy. Because just saying it was the cult who did it, I don't think that's cool. I think it's got to be someone who we've met early on and has been with us through this entire story, so I think it's got to be Arios, or Grizz, or maybe Bales, or Diner Croy. That's where I am at this point. We've been going for 30 minutes, and I apologize. Let's play the game. Dude, I could talk about this game and think about this game for a hot minute, but I did do exactly that, so there will definitely be a little cut there. Let's play. I actually need to come back over here. Wiesna, Trails. I feel actually really confident about pieces of what I said. And then I think I've thrown a lot of stuff at the wall. Look at this! Look at this! They're putting Kia out here, and she's like, ah ha ha ha, there's something up with that kid. I don't know what it is, though. And I don't know if I should know what it is, dude. But I do think it might be key to Idios, because here, this makes me feel even better about it, because she's got the white wolf by her side, you know what I mean? Crossbow's longest day took us. Let me go through your comments very quickly. I haven't even touched your comments this time, actually. Like, I haven't even read them during the week. I've been juggling this week. Goodness gracious. What is even going on anymore if that ain't the truth? Let's talk about it. Chaos Eater, who said did they seriously reuse Trails in the sky, first chapter enemies in the prologue and Zero? Honestly don't remember this ever happening. Oh, and of course, they use an excuse that they smuggle monsters in. Fair enough. It's also funny how there's a lore reason for it, but in reality they just reused assets from Sky because this dungeon probably had a last minute idea. Whether that they could get away with it, which is obviously can. Fair enough. And they did just say, hey, take some stuff. Sharmila saying there's no way you forgot Kilika's name. Yes. Correct. I sure did. Can't wait for the finale of the chapter next week. I don't know if it'll be today. Especially since I yapped for 30 minutes, but we will see. Jessica saying, the confusion. Congrats on the congrats on catching all the fish. Leloid has done Leloid proud. Dad. Poor Kilika's been forgotten. I'm so sorry, Kilika. Ellie, being a poor cook does kind of make sense. I believe that she does make desserts, but Joanna and Helmer probably did most of the cooking as Ellie grew up. That's fair. Randy's Death Scorpion is a sick S-craft, rather. The Scorpion is a symbol of the right constellation. Flying felines were on the Maga Trail, and Roland, the Mulga Trail, rather. The baby penguins were in Limestone Cave in Zeiss. The sharks were from Gull Seaside in Rouen, and the moss were in the Vista Forest in Rouen, and the man trap was on Milchmain Road in Roland. Acceleration is pretty good. In Sky Remake, Shara's accelerate craft has been changed to a large area instead of a single target craft. The achievement for completing Chapter 4 is Shadows of the Cult, not of Guilt. Oh, well. Whoops. Surprise, Ouroboros had nothing to do with the events of this game. That's crazy. That's crazy. I was like, what do you mean there's no Ouroboros here? The Astral Code hasn't really been explained in this game. It's basically a digital network that Norvardis created that can connect via celestial globe. The society is a meeting room. Oh, I see. Shown in Stardor 14. Thank you. This is explained in the Crossbow Archive, a book that elaborates on a few details that weren't explained in the Crossbow games. A partial translation exists online, and it was used as a reference on the Kaseki wiki. Shizuki is 9, so she was 4 when Arios left the police. You are allowed to visit the cathedral in this chapter, so you can check his wife's grave to confirm your theory. Shizuku was 4. And I wanted to see if maybe Guy... Oh yeah, no, I gotta go check that grave. Actually, hold on a minute. The Gemini is the... Gemini Gem is the reward for feeding Cop every chapter. Nice. And then we have our last sweep stuff. Hospital locks you in the end game once you're there. You'll be able to enter all the rooms except for the ER for events/DP. I'd also recommend talking to everyone in each room. Talk to Cecile multiple times after the hospital. Be taken to another location. Randy should be near the big windows. Talk to him for a final bonding event. Downstairs is Guleman. Talk to him twice to forge your ultimate weapon. I recommend making Randy's, and Azure he remembers obtaining this weapon even if you don't make it. Fair enough. That's weird. Actually, I remember getting that weapon, that sick weapon. Finishing the Corkboard Time, perfect intro. Don't worry, we're not finished yet. I'm very much enjoying the theorizing time as the mysteries in Crossbow have so many threads to follow. Hope you enjoy the finale. I'm gonna try and get this finale out of the way. I don't know if I'm gonna have the time, unfortunately. That being said, it seems like we don't have too much to do. But now I've been intrigued because there's actually not that much to do in terms of our final sweep. Let's buy our final Crossbow Times. It is actually out. We do have that book to read, and I want to read it for a specific reason. Receptionist Pearl. Oh, you might be talking about your boy. I wonder how long it'll be before Scott isn't too busy with work all the time. Seems like it'll be a while before we can get married. Oh, forgive me, I accidentally lost my thoughts, got lost in my thoughts for a moment. Are you looking to buy anything in particular? No, I'm not. I'm looking actually to buy something in particular, correct. Shop. Shop, 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 shop till you drop. Doodly doo doo doodly doo doo. Thank you. Final issue. A novel pastime. Collect all the back alley doctors and Crossbow Time. So there was an achievement for both in one. Interesting. Now, I don't care about anybody else here. I would like to go to the cathedral. I actually care about a lot of people here, and I actually care a lot about a lot of Crossbow, to be honest. And I think the biggest thing that I want to do here is I'm rushing all the way over here to the graves. Can you tell me anything more about the graves, my guy? Oh, you know, on evenings like this, I can't help but think of Guy. Lloyd, once you're old enough, once you're a man enough in your own right, let's share a few drinks. I'll treat you to some of his favorites. I'll be looking forward to it. On his days off, guys would often drop by here with some booze and we'd drink the night away. Lloyd, once you're a man in your own right, let's share a few drinks. That's awesome. I wonder if he's got like a picture of my boy. Nope. My boy Guy. I really want to know that mystery one. Oh man, my biggest concern is that whoever is here What? It took a while, but I got your badge back for you, Guy. Oh, dude! With this in my hand, I can finally take the first steps towards avenging your death. I'm sorry, that has to wait. For now, I have to focus on the case in front of me. Citizens getting wrapped up in mysterious drugs and vanishing into thin air. Yeah, and it also explains, oh no, it is Dr. Gunther, dude. I was like, he was, cause even so, Mayor dude from Mines was like, he wouldn't get wrapped up in any drugs. Maybe it's just some medication. And I was like, I was just like, I don't think it's any medication, my dude. But I was like, maybe he did think it was medication and maybe it was given to him by a doctor. Oh man, I feel like, oh dude. Y'all ever just like, cause now I might be hard pressed on this, and it feels like I'm very late to be hard pressed on this. Cause I think the first thing I said about Dr. Gunther was like, I don't trust that man's, and then I trusted him. Cause now I think he's a sack of crap. Oh man. I should have called him a sack of crap instead of focusing all of my anger on freaking Belle, dude. I'm not sure if Crossbow's ever dealt with something this big. I know that you'd never let a case like this go unsolved, and while I'm still nowhere close to you, what I have is a team that has my back. I know I can count on them when the going gets tough. Most importantly, I found someone who I'm going to protect no matter the cost. Kyo. That's why you don't need to worry about me, guy. Just watch me. Lloyd, are you alright? What's up, man? Nothing, just a quick chat. Let's move out, everyone. Roger. So that is, he died in 1201. I have that written on my corkboard. This mystery grave is 1180 something, maybe? Here's the thing, it could be 1180 something or it could be like 1108. Wish I could see the other things here. Can I read this? Beneath the bell, let the golden light betwixt pure skies, goddess's loving embrace. You know, daughter of the goddess. Who could that be? You know what it could be? Maybe like Dr. Gunther is actually dead. That's person is like pretending to be Dr. Gunther and he's the one that's in that grave. Because then I could say, hey, my Dr. Gunther, he was a lad. 1199. $11.99. Shizuku is 9. This happened 5 years ago. This happened 5 years ago. This happened 5 years ago. Shizuku, I'm sorry, Arios left 5 years ago. In the police academy. I really do have to get moving. I really do. But like I'm really thinking here because I feel like here's the problem with this game. I feel like I've said a bunch of stuff that is like either close to right or right. But I also feel like I've said some stuff that is so far off base, and I feel like I've taken all those things and mixed them into a big old pot, and I can't tell what's right and wrong. So I feel like I got this theory now that's like mixed all together. Hey, but as long as I get some of it right, I feel okay. 1199, guy died in 1102. No, 1101. I'm sorry, 1201. It is currently 1203. Right? Or is it 1204? What's in my corkboard? Hold on a minute. I need my dates again. The dates there. I've always been terrible with years, y'all. It is 1204. It is 1204. So we're looking for 1202 that something bad happened. If it's 1204. Oh. Yeah, no, he did leave the force when his wife died. Wait a minute, y'all. His wife died 5 years ago. If his wife died 5 years ago in 1199 when he left the force, maybe he left the force because he thought the police really couldn't do anything. And I guess there is a world where maybe guy just couldn't save. Oh, dude, y'all. Oh boy. Wait a minute. I may have been onto something. I may be onto something. Let's finish everything we need to do here around the cathedral first. Examine guy's grave, we did that. Talk to Father Renton, talk to Aunt Letty. Aunt Letty's inside? Auntie? Okay. Where's Auntie? Oh, Auntie! Oh, aren't you Cecile's mother? Well, aren't you all rather a sight for sore eyes? Did you stop a bit for a prayer? Did something happen to Lloyd? Huh? What do you mean? Oh, don't mind me. You really are the spitting image of Guy, aren't you? Truth be told, I would mistake you for him when I ran into you at night. You think so? I suppose we are brothers. I'm starting to look like Guy did. So, would you like to pray together sometime, Lloyd? I mean, this is Guy's resting place after all. You really have taken after Guy, haven't you? I'm sure you'll be a fine detective, maybe even finer one than Guy someday. I'll be rooting for you. Don't let anyone hold you back or stand in your way, don't you hear me? How am I going to deal with that pesky bell in the ruins? If it really is an artifact, those meddlesome so-and-sos will come and intervene. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Well, I'd like to see them try. Their kind is not welcome in Crossbell, the Growlsritter. Very well, we shall investigate those ruins as well as Stargazer's Tower. Thank you. I'm taking off for a business trip to go and teach the children of mines first thing tomorrow morning. Well, it's gonna be Crossbell's longest day, so I don't know if your tomorrow morning's gonna be good. I hope they've been doing well since I was last there. Sergeant Major Seeker stopped by yesterday to deliver our investigation report on the ruins in the morning. Even the very possibility that there may be an artifact involved is enough to warrant the Septian Church's attention. Great. So we have talked to the Archbishop. We need to talk to Sister Marble. Let's go, sister. I was gonna come in here anyway, not for nothing. It sounds like you did a great job assisting the Guardian Force investigation. You two seem to pop up everywhere. It makes me proud to be your former teacher. May I brag about your successes during the next Sunday school? Ha! That's quite alright, Miss Marble. You don't need to do that. Please don't tease us like that. I mean, I'm okay with Lord. Stop. Let me behave. Hee hee. Okay. It is true that I'm proud of you both, though. My former pupils rather have blossomed into fine role models who help people and have a commitment to doing justice. When I think about that, I just couldn't be prouder. Okay. Talk to Father Renton in the northern room. You. Archbishop Arelda doesn't think too highly of the Congregation of the Sacraments, the organization in charge of retrieving artifacts. He heard rumors of its chivalric order, the Growlsritter, resorting to some less than ethical practices. Yep. Archbishop Arelda abhors those who have no respect for the law, so I doubt he will ever approve of them showing up in Crossbell. Yep. Fair enough. Oh man, I wish I could. You're the one who told me about the fiends, right? Fiends. I gotta remember, I can't trust everyone who tells me good information. Because right now I am actually very highly suspicious of old homeboy. Is anyone in mines that we need to talk to? I gotta cook all those dishes? I think I cooked most of them, actually. No. Also, we can't go to mines, right? We can't leave the city. I forgot. Then yeah, let's just go back to the Let's go back to the residential district. And let's start from here. Let me see if Jonah knows anything. He's supposed to be my information dude. You know what I mean? Where's my intel, Jonah? Are you with the cult too? Neon lights, Nobel Prize. When a leader speaks, that leader dies. What's up with you guys? Are you heading out somewhere? Yeah, there's something we need to do. Say, Jonah, is something wrong? You seem kind of cranky. I only woke up moments before you got here. Cut me some slack. If you were half the detectives you claim to be, you'd be able to tell. What are you doing? What are you going to do? What are we going to do with you? It's not like I have any right to tell him what to do, but he needs to get it together. Maybe we should contact the Epstein Foundation after all. Lloyd, you remind me of a doting guardian. Huh? I can see it too. Geez, you got real dad energy these days, man. He kinda does. My head's killing me. Whenever I wake up, my keyboard game is a little slow. Come on, Jonah, couldn't you at least take a bath and step outside for a bit? Real dad energy. For real, actually. Go ahead. Which makes him the perfect father for Kia. Well, now that I don't think... Well, I never honestly really did think she had parents. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Joanna, what's up? It appears the master will be returning late again tonight. Are you working today, my lady? I've heard the SSS has become quite the respectable name. I hope you continue to strive for excellence. Thank you, Joanna. We'll try. I'll leave grandfather in your care, okay? Of course, I shall take care of him. Very good. If I may interrupt, my lady, I've been informed that the master will be working overtime yet again. I worry for his health, and now that the diet has concluded, we must urge him to take much-needed rest. My father is stubborn to his core. I fear at the moment he won't listen to a word either of us has to say. I'll have to try and persuade him once he's in more of a mood to listen. I'm sorry, Lady Ellie, but I agree that would be for the best. Okay. Oh, I'm in residential district. Well, there's other people that I actually want to talk to, so let's go talk to them first and we'll see who else we need. Who else do we... Oh, how are you doing? Oh, the SSS. Kriel and sweet little Sanita have calmed down a bit, though I'm sure they're still terribly worried. Not that I can blame them one bit, after all I was barely able to hold myself together after Colin went missing. I'm sorry, Mrs. Hayworth, but could you stay by their side just a little longer? I assure you the CPD is doing everything they can to locate Bond. Of course, leave them in my hands. Where could have her husband disappeared to? He's either at the hospital, or he's in the bottom of the Sun Temple. He's not the kind of man who would just vanish and abandon his family without a word. You think they're all gonna die? I don't think so. Where's Colin? My husband hasn't come back yet. Excuse me, you don't think my husband has run away, do you? No, there's no way he ever would. Oh, I couldn't be more worried sick. There's no way my husband would ever. He's an honest man. You? Fuyan. And you? No, not you, the kid. Hey, sup, father? Okay, yeah. Cry about it, kid. Don't actually. I feel bad about that. She's a good kid. You. It appears the Diet's budget meeting has concluded. Finally, I suppose father will be arriving sooner than expected. I have no other choice. I shall attend dinner with him. And not because he ordered me to, simply because I had a change of heart, that's all. And after all, I truly don't hate my father from the bottom of my heart. Oh, good for you. How's your maid doing? I am preparing rather the most delightful feast tonight. Oh, my lady and my master, and the master rather, will be pleased. Good on you, Marsha. Marsha. I don't care about you. Unless... I should. No. I think I've actually talked to, everybody who I should care about. Cool. But... I would like to talk to my boys. Really? Yeah, it looks like these two are an important dialogue, but I'm definitely going to talk to them. My wife has gone to visit Kriel. You see, Miss Kriel and my wife are close friends. I'm sure Sophia is worried about her. It's wonderful that she has a friend that she can lean on in times like these. I intend on supporting them both, of course. To think that one of our neighbors would disappear, I would like to assist in any way possible. Times like these, the families need to support one another. Y'all, I don't have Harold on my list, but I really am hoping that he's not involved in all of these shenanigans. Mama said she's going to the neighbor's house today. I'm going to sleep in Papa's bed tonight. Colin, I'm glad that unless you're a doll. Yo, the dolls didn't really come into effect this episode, or this game, unless missing a doll theory. Cindy, you frigid-hearted traitor, how dare you just dump all your chores on me? They've got parties going on all over the city now that the Diet meeting is over, and I'm not going to make a single one of them at this rate. We'll do the chores faster, idiot. Alright. Let's go to West Street. Just because I like West Street and a couple people on West Street. And you know who I want to go and see first? You in here? Okay. Something strange is going on out there. We've been getting non-stop phone calls today. Did something happen at Ravash & Company? Yeah, we happened. Yes, this is Grimwood Law Office. Really, this is the first I've heard about it too. Yes, of course. No, I'm terribly sorry about all of this. If you need anything, please just give me a call. Excuse me for interrupting, Mr. Grimwood, but about that phone call. Oh, hello, everyone. You heard a bit of that, didn't you? Well, it turns out no one has been able to get in touch with Ravash & Company. Because of that, I've been getting call after call from companies who do business with them and their competitors. I still have no idea what's going on. Well, Lloyd, do you think it's related to... Wait. Do you know something about this? There's still a lot of pieces missing, but we do know one thing for certain. Ravash & Company is completely empty. All its personnel gone without a trace. You're absolutely positive. Please, Mr. Grimwood, we'd like for you to keep this confidential for now. The CPD is in the middle of figuring out how to best tackle the situation, so it might take some time to fully assess what's actually happened. I'm afraid that the chaos will only grow within the passage of time. Very well. I'll take care of any questions people may have about this while you focus on your investigation. If there's anything I can do to keep this from spiraling out of control, I'll do it. Thank you, sir. We'll leave that to you. You know, the Mafia will leave things, I doubt the Mafia, rather, will leave things like this for too long. I say we hurry it up. In the meantime, I'll start looking to Ravash and company. The confusion surrounding this shouldn't spread too far, but I think you'll be able to keep it under wraps for longer than a day. I recommend you work quickly. Well, it's Crossbow's longest day, so I don't think this is actually... I think this is our last day in this game. I gotta make sure I have the Azure. I'm pretty sure I do. If not, I'll be purchasing that this weekend. Who else do we need to talk to on West Street? Just Grim, Oscar, and Chiruru. But I also care about the kids. Where y'all at? Wait, where's Mimi? Oh, is Mimi over? That's not Mimi. Where's Mimi? What's the big deal? We're just playing a game of tag. You always go too far, Ryu. You need to apologize tomorrow, okay? Momo ran away, crying because I scared her a little bit. Oh, Ryu. Man, I knew playing with girls would be a drag. Ryu, I'm about to punch you, kid. You better go and give her a real apology tomorrow, okay, Ryu? I gotta go talk to Momo. Yeah, because she's probably having a bad time. Oscar, what's up? How's it going, Lloyd? Out on another adventure? Yep, pretty much. Hey, Oscar, just to be on the safe side, I've gotta ask, you haven't seen anything unusual happen around here, have you? Like men in black suits hanging around? Unusual? Actually, Bennett lost her cool and stormed out of the store not too long ago. You don't think? That's why she was coming up with, like, her best recipe yet because she was under the effects of those drugs? I hope not. I like Bennett. I have no idea what it was about, so I'd mark that as unusual. And I have to mark you down as just as tactless as ever. Regardless, it sounds like well, hold on. Sounds like West Street is incident-free. I mean, look. Bennett baked a delicious loaf of bread, rather, and had me sample it earlier today. I doled out my honest critique, and then she started freaking out and stormed out of here. Never mind. Everything is as it should be. The heck's up with her? I assume your honest critique was, not ideal. Oscar and I gave Bennett's bread high praise. She seemed dissatisfied with it, though. Though the flavors were outstanding, I thought the flavors were outstanding, rather, but I wonder if it had to do with Oscar's reaction. I don't really get it, but whatever. What's the matter with Bennett? She stormed out of here a moment ago, so she's probably on the streets here somewhere. Oh, there she is. I forced Oscar to have a taste of my latest creation, the magnum opus to my entire baking career. He took one bite, and you know what he said? Wow, this is delicious. I swear, no sane person just goes and compliments their rival's creation like this. Does he really think he can trick me so easily? Think again, buddy. I really thought that bread was, if he really thought that bread was so great, he would have been stunned speechless by a clear defeat. Yeah, it must be a ruse. Damn it, Oscar. I'll keep training and baking, and one day I'll leave him speechless. I'm glad you're okay, Bennett. I'm happy that you are fine, and I wouldn't say normal. Well, now it's time I get back to work. I've saved up all of my mirrors so I can watch Ilya perform live. Hopefully, I can score some tickets for next month's performance. Separating trash and cleaning the drainage pipes. This is all to meet Ilya. I can do this, just gotta push a little harder. How do you not know she lives right there? She might be coming home looking like a mess and completely wasted. What is this car? I finally pulled the bullet and bit the bullet rather, and purchased my very own car. Old man Levick, you did it. I think I'll treat myself to my first little joyride on this baby tomorrow. I don't know if anyone told you, old man Levick, but this is the Crossbow's longest day. I don't know if tomorrow gonna be okay to ride that thing. Truth be told, I've hardly ever been this excited. I hope this car doesn't get destroyed. I kind of hope it does, because I think that'd be funny, but I also hope it doesn't. I don't care about you, for real. I do care about you, Chiruru. I have another journey I must prepare for. I plan to hike the Mines Mountains on foot this time. I want to go there, I wanted to go there for a long time. Okay, good for you. And you? Excuse me, hiking to the Mines Mountains to go to Lamont State? That's impossible, Chiruru, and besides, there's Ereboni on the other side of the mountains, not Lamont. I've got the most difficult children in the world, I tell you. Dang, neither of them are home. I know Auntie Let wasn't home, but I was like, maybe, he's always in the library, let's be real. Momo. Wow, Ryu's a big meanie. I'm sorry, Momo. Did Momo get into a fight with one of her friends? She's been sulking for a while and refuses to speak to me. Ah, well, kids will be kids. I'll whip her up a delicious meal and try and cheer her up later. Hey, Ryu, I'm about to have a very long talk with you. Did you guys see what happened? Those three play together all the time, huh? Yeah, they must be the bestest friends ever. I wish Big Sis was here, then there'd be 3 of us too. Yeah, but she's so busy. It's been forever since the last time she played with us. Yeah, she went to, academy. All she does is study. Next time we see her, we gotta give her the biggest hug ever, okay? You're right, Nana. Ooh, Nana. We gotta do our best and cheer her on. Who is your big sister? Who? Heck if I remember. So that's West Street cleared. Let's go to the administrative district. Well, let me look at the people that I know that I want to talk to. It's almost dark. I'd better stop closing up the library soon. It was good seeing you, Lloyd. Make sure you have all your belongings before you head home. See you tomorrow, huh, Lloyd? Sounds good. See you later, Uncle. Okay, very good. How's your research going? Oh, what's this? I'm on the verge of completing this thesis. All I have to do is summarize it. Oh, good for you. He's almost done. Oh, they're here. I had this book recommended to me by the librarian, so I'm gonna check it out. He absolutely insisted I read it cover to cover as my free time allowed. Mom's gonna read it to me when we get home. Good for you. Proud of you, boy. Oh my gosh, what are you doing here? Fine. Oh, you guys like to read too? What a lucky coincidence. Nothing's better than making friends with fellow bookworms, wouldn't you say? Huh? Well, honestly, I don't even know where to begin. I refuse to believe that he just came here to read. It's almost unnatural how well he blends in. There's no use trying to wrap my head around it. Weren't you headed back to the Empire to handle business, Ledger? Oh yeah, that's right. But just because I said I had to be in the Empire doesn't mean I had to go very far. I was just beyond Belgar Gate. For what? Near Belgar Gate? It couldn't be. Is he referring to Gorelia Fortress? Ain't that bad news? The base is pretty damn important to the Empire. Your ordinary civilian would never go there for simple business. I wish I was able to discern his identity even just for a bit. Nice. I've wrapped up all the work I had left in the Empire. Looks like I'm free to screw around Crossbell for a bit. I still don't get this guy. How much does he actually know? Okay, so he's just here, which is interesting. I don't know how I feel about it, but it is what it is. Oh, we have to give up our back alley doctor this episode? Oh, boy. Well, fine. Talk to Mayor McDowell twice, Fran and Rebecca. Have Rebecca check your combat notebook. If you have enough scans, you'll get a divine cloth. I sure hope I do. I was pretty good on scanning, but, you know, I missed a couple. Hey, Mayor McDowell, what's up? Yes, I'll prepare them immediately. I'll arrange the documents. Are you here? Are you okay? Has something happened? Oh, not at all. We're in the middle of an investigation, but we figured we'd drop by for a moment. Are you alright, Grandfather? I'm sure you're very busy right now. Yes. He could be a villain. And here's the thing. I feel like there's a world where and I still have Arios as my pick for, like, someone's doing something behind the scenes, and it might be a couple somebodies. Because there's a couple people that are suspicious, and I feel like at this juncture, I don't think it will just be one person doing things. I think it's gotta be a couple, regardless. Yes, the session was prolonged by 3 days already. As a result, we have that much time less to prepare the budgetary agreements for all parties. I know, I can tell you aren't very happy with me working overtime for so long. There's no need to be concerned. I'm sure it'll be all over after today. This old man can handle himself, so don't allow my work to distract you from now on. Yes, Grandfather, I understand. Shall we depart for the hospital then? Sounds like a plan. Sorry, Clip. I'll need you to contact my financial affairs in my stead. I will personally deliver the documents to Speaker Hardman. Yes, understood, Mayor. Okay. It is definitely fall time. Feeling the fall time allergies starting to kick in. Fran, what's up? Oh, are y'all going somewhere? Yeah, we're heading to St. Ursula Medical College. You look exhausted, Fran. Are you okay? Ahahaha, well, I've had people screaming at me on the phone over the lockdown all day. There was a bomb threat, but it ended up being a false alarm. What a relief. I'm sorry to deal with that. That's okay. All I need is a bit of rest and I'll be good to go again. That being said, you can always contact me for help whenever you need it, okay? Come rain or shine, I, Fran Seeker, will support you in any way possible. Hee. We're glad to have you, Fran. Taking an orbital bus to St. Ursula Medical College will greatly reduce your travel time. I don't anticipate there being any issues, but don't hesitate to call me if anything pops up. And now, moment of truth, it looks like you've been hard at work filling out your combat notebook. I'd like to record your information into our database. Mind if I see it for a minute? With pleasure. Thank you very much. Here's your notebook back. Please accept this as compensation for your hard work. Okay. We will, thanks. Uh-oh. I don't think I got enough. Oh, man, I thought she was gonna give me a divine cloth. I did not get one. Oh, that it is so good, too. I just saw Dudley return to HQ with an awful stern look on his face. It seems the situation is far more complicated than the higher-ups thought it would be. Please try and be careful out there. I don't want anything to happen to our officers. Don't worry about us, Rebecca. Yeah, we've got this handled. Where is my combat notebook? Oh, did I never scan Vold? I swear I scanned Vold at some point. Maybe I just missed this battle. Maybe that's before I was serious about scanning everything. Oh, man. I swear I scanned these two. Ugh, maybe there was a second battle that I just didn't scan them. I was gonna say, I think I did everything on East Crossbow Road, probably everything on Old America Road. Ursula, I got everybody. Maine's Mountain Path, I got everybody. The Tunnel, I got everybody. Mines, I got everybody. West Crossbow Highway, I got everybody. Tangram Gate, I got yeah, everybody. There's not, wait. Sergeant Maker Seeker. Anywho, we love Miss Major Seeker. Yeah, I got everybody. Yin, yang, yo. Anywho, yeah, I was gonna say, I think I pretty much got. Oh, I never got the Merman. I don't think I really ever saw this dude. Ancient Battlefield. Yeah, I don't know if I saw this guy. I mean, I must have seen him, I guess, but I guess I never scanned him. Interesting. Michelum, got everybody there. Moon Temple, Bone Archer. Oh, I must have scanned the Bone Warrior, not the Bone Archer. Whoops. Ravash and Company, got everybody in there. Rosenberg Studio, yeah, I got those. Don't worry about it. Mystery. Where are these locations? Okay. Fair enough. I guess that's fine. I guess I don't need my divine cloth. Whatever. In that case, let's go to the Harbor District next, since there's only a couple people to talk to. And I actually don't know many people that I would really want to talk to here in the... You know who else I want to go and talk to? Grace! What's good, girly? Well, if it isn't my best friends... Hey, what's up, bestie? I had overheard the craziest thing. Has the entire Mafia seriously just up and vanished? Well, how were you able to get your hands on classified information like that? Imagine thinking us reporters don't have access to our own information networks. But anyway, I heard Gantz went missing after the big kerfuffle yesterday. It's not like him. You hear the same thing more and more, happening to more and more people rather. Here one moment, gone the next. I don't know about you guys, but I've got a real bad feeling about this. I do too. We need to get a handle on this, on what's going on, and fast. Oh, so you guys are chasing them down. Good to know. Scritch. Okay, I think I've got the gist of it. You'd better hit me up with the juicy details if anything else happens. You may have divulged a bit too information, little Lloyd. A bit too much information. Definitely too much. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like such an amateur. Well, now the cat's out of the bag, so there's no use beating yourself up over it. Between Ravash's shenanigans and all those people going missing, I'd say we've gotten ourselves into quite a pickle. You guys better watch your backs if you plan on continuing an investigation. I can't have you dying on me while my next big scoop hinges on your success. Sure, we'll stay vigilant. You do well to heed your own advice, Grace. Yeah, I'm more worried about you dying than us dying. Because you almost, yeah, didn't you say Guy got you out of a couple pickles back in the day? There's a rumor swirling around since this morning about a bunch of people going missing just out of nowhere. Trying to investigate it right now, but I'm not sure anything will come of it. Would you guys, this would make for a really good article. I guess it is a weird title. Let me see. Harbor District, we need to talk to Old Man Quinn and Chief Roberts. Oh, he is here. Oh, Tio! Where could you be heading off to this time? At a time like this, being a police officer must be difficult. Take good care of yourself, okay? Thank you. I will be sure to. Oh. Being a police officer must be difficult. Take care, everyone. That was the most normal conversation those two have ever had. Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm a master fisherman. My granddaughter's a good kid. Old man like me shouldn't make her worry too much. All this time, my granddaughter has just been worried about my well-being. I may have been acting too stubborn. Oh man, he learned his lesson. I decided that I should probably try not to pester Grandpa so much. I didn't want him to go to the hospital and take his medicine. I did want him to go to the hospital rather and take his medicine, but he's pretty healthy for his age, and I think he's going to be just fine. Okay, I'm glad that they have come to a mutual agreement. And I'm sure she still loves hanging out by the lake with her grandfather. You'll love to see it. I don't know if I need to go to the IBC. I also don't know if I can. It's Sunday. I cannot go to the IBC, which is also suspicious. Dieter Croy, I'm watching you. We should probably read. We'll do a whole reading session once we get to the back alley. So let me just finish up downtown and East Street. Who's at East Street? Roos! In front of Long Lao. Talk to Michelle. And talk to Serena. Michelle, what's up? I've assigned the members of the guild to search various locations throughout the state, so you can leave everywhere outside of the city to us. Now go and give that drug investigation yours full investigation attention. And that goes for, this goes without saying, rather, you better take good care of Shizuku. Of course, we never let anyone hurt her. Oh, what if Shizuku's the one who gets taken? That'd be the shock of the century to me. I would just tear apart my corkboard. Don't worry, she's safe with us. I've assigned you. Okay, yeah. That goes without saying. Where is everyone though? Mines, Belgard, Bearguard, Tangram, Amorica. So they are stationed all over the city. Great. Hey, what's up, mother? Clarice. Oh dear, it's gotten late, hasn't it? Fran seemed fairly busy when I went to visit her earlier. I hope she made time for lunch. She definitely didn't. She had a rough day. Who else do we need to talk to? Serena in the Acacia Apartments. This is Acacia, right? I don't think there's any other apartments here. Who's Serena? I'm going to be honest with you, I've totally changed my opinion on the Testaments compared to when I first met them. Oh, you're the sister of the... I understand. I was even thinking about bringing Yugat at Azel's workplace a bite to eat. Keep it a secret from him, okay? Oh. I was thinking about bringing Yugat to Azel's workplace to grab a bite to eat. Interesting. I plan to start working right after I graduate from Sunday school too. I really like to become a bracer because then I'd be able to treat my brother and sister to all kinds of tasty meals. Aww. Yugat! Which is such a silly... I'm not going to say it's a silly name, but it's sure a name. You're finally back! It seems the diet meeting is finally adjourned. I only heard a rumor of the final budget, but it sounded fairly reasonable. Mayor McDowell really fought the good fight getting through the Imperial Republic deadlock. Okay, so he's still fighting the good fight. Now, dear, don't get lost in all of this political talk. Hurry up and eat. Great. And then I had to talk to my old couple. Managed to come up with this genius Mapu tofu recipe while working here. You guys want to learn something cool? Wait, medicinal tofu? Okay. Come and grab a bite to eat, rather. I'm begging you, I'm one failure away from chewing out of a lifetime from my boss. You're gonna chew them out. And I think that is everyone here. We have to make that recipe, so that is good to note. East Street, yeah, let's go downtown. Although, maybe we save downtown, but I think we just have the downtown, the entertainment district. I think that's it. Really? Oh gosh, oh my gosh, we're almost done. Ugh. Then let's do the entertainment district first, I guess. I'm definitely going the long way to it. And now that it's evening, I actually also think Ark and CL is in show, aren't they? SSS is a pleasure. Well, the show was able to go on. The daytime performance was postponed, but it's being held as we speak. I see. A complete lack of rehearsal has left us in a nervous pinch, but I think we'll manage to get through it just fine. It's wonderful news. I'm glad the show wasn't thrown off by all this mess. Leave it to Ark and CL to so gracefully land on their feet. That aside, we still haven't found any leads on your missing man. But don't worry, we've got no plans of giving up this investigation. Thank you. I'm sorry about this inconvenience. I'll leave Nikolai in your capable hands. We won't rest until we find him, sir. That's gonna make this the longest day. Officer Kate is here. I was gonna talk to her actually because I saw her walking around. I've gotta work the graveyard shift tonight, so I'm gonna head back to the headquarters for a quick nap. You guys in the middle of an investigation? Yeah, we're going to St. Ursula's for a little bit, in a bit. That sounds like you've been running all over the place. Guess you've got, we both got all of our work cut out for us today. Good luck, guys. You too, Kate. See you, Kate. Okay, so now we're just left with these other two areas, the entertainment district, and the downtown district. Okay. The dual garters can be brought at here. Do I not have them? I sure don't. Maybe I do. I own one. Right, I've been there before. It's just a bunch of, like, gear, which is, you know, is useful. Let me do cooking. I am missing 2 recipes, which is unfortunate. Oh wait, no, I have one more recipe to get. It is in the back alley. So maybe let me do that first. Let me do everything except for Imelda first. Because there is another recipe here. And I think I'll just be missing one recipe, and I might be getting that recipe from the thing. Who do I need to talk to? Sandra. Old homegirl here. Huh? Evening already? Guess it's time, almost time for my personal hell. Might as well give you guys something nice before I head out. I learned this cocktail from a guest I hosted one time. I pray one day that I'll drink another cocktail as great as that one. Shiny blue. Very cool. Another day of pouring drinks for guests. What's the point of this job anymore? Maybe it's time for a career change. Hey, do you have any info? Potentially, please? Some detectives from the 1st Division came to question me about Ravash a little while ago. What a pain. I'm just a bartender. What would I know? You know plenty of things. How am I supposed to know where those Ravash guys disappeared off to? I've just been bartending this whole time. Yeah, I think he is actually he's my that's the headmaster. The grandmaster rather of Ouroboros. Quote me on it. And by quote me on it, I mean don't quote me on it because we all really know it's Polly. Yeah, in that case, let me finish off this back alley outside of, Officer Franz is here? Oh, he's by the door. 1st Division put me on watch to keep citizens from wandering in, but isn't this place for Vosh and Company? This is really bad. Am I really gonna be okay? Sorry, Franz, we're leaving guard duty to you. If those dudes manage to return, then take that as a sign to get the hell out of here. Oh man, I'm just a rookie. I just joined the force this year. I wasn't expecting to be this stressed out. I mean, so did we. We certainly did too. Do we read all of our back alley doctor right now, or do we actually do our recipes? Because now we are just missing the one recipe, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Shiny blue. We need scorching wine. I don't have many of that. Ellie would suck at this apparently. Come on, make something bad. You made 2 regular shiny blues, you son of a gun. How the heck do I get scorching wine? You sell scorching wine here? Yes, you do. It's expensive. But that's fine. Anything to make something terrible, apparently. A little recipe. I might try and make everything correctly at some point soon. One shiny blue, 2 dumplings, 2 blue liquid. Excellent. So I haven't gotten that recipe. I think I've made everything else that is really weird except for one. So where's the one that I'm missing? This one. Medicinal tofu, and I got plenty of stuff to make it. Ellie? Wait, what? I need clear gelatin? Isn't that a monster drop? Or am I tripping? I thought it was a monster drop. If it's a monster drop, then I might be out of luck. Clear gelatin. I think it may be a monster drop. Dang, I might not be able to make that. Huh. Huh. Well, there's beast flesh, and then there's fish fillet. Monster egg. I think it must be, but I feel like I would have had some unless I used it all on some other cooking recipe. Clear gelatin. That sucks. Let me see if I can find some real quick. Yeah, I think we're out of luck. We have no clear gelatin. That sucks. Well, shoot. Anywho, we'll close that because I don't even I don't like to Google anything from this game ever. But I was like, if I can get it, then I'll try and get it. But I don't think I can. We're gonna be 2 recipes short then. How unfortunate. Let me see. Quest info. I'd recommend giving cooking all of the supreme dishes and giving them to Jizo on E Street. Oh. Well, cool. I also don't think I can do the thing, so I think we're just gonna do the thing. I think we're gonna turn in our dishes now. That kind of sucks. Unless, like, after I cook these, maybe if I cook the supreme dishes and I give them to him, he'll give me some, like, clear gelatin or something. Also. Well, I didn't get anything. Hey, maybe you sell some. Do you sell any clear gelatin? Maybe. That'd be cool of you. No, I didn't think so. Nobody's gonna sell me clear gelatin, man. Ah. All right. Well, whatever. Let's finish up. I'd like to read Back Alley Doctor before we finish up. It always feels nice to, like, I think this is some of my favorite music in the game, the Entertainment District music. Alright, I'm gonna split the recording. I'm gonna blow my nose. And we're gonna read this, because I've realized we really haven't played this game for too long. We've really only played it for about an hour, and that's all it took for our last sweep before we get into some real shenanigans, it feels like. So let's do it. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm about to read. I'm about to read some books, y'all. So let's get reading. I do want to save real quick. Because we're about to do some legit reading. This episode is really gonna be sectioned off, huh? It is going to be, hey, this is theorizing time, this is reading time, and this is the rest of the episode. So for now, let's read. We have not read any of this Back Alley Doctor. We got 14 chapters. We got some smooth jazz in the background. So let's get to reading. The Back Alley Doctor. Rimaferia, the principality of the beautiful north, was renowned across Zemeria for its advanced medical care. Its modern, well-funded hospitals attracted skilled doctors from a multitude of countries, and its cutting-edge medical technologies was developed by specialists from the finest manufacturers Principality had to offer. However, despite how brilliantly this nation's medical excellence shone, it concealed a dark side as well. Implementation of an orbital technology had been put off for years in the poor downtown district. As a result, it lacked not only the quality of life, but the level of hospital care that the Principality was so known for. Deep down in this quiet, rundown area, where the already chilly region's winds seemed to bite with a pronounced sting, stood only a single clinic. The 40-year-old building's age was apparent, but with a glance rather. Its dilapidated exterior did a thorough job of extinguishing any hope of finding a decent general practitioner within. On this particular day, the silhouettes of two people could be seen in its dirty and cracked windows. "1 million mirror!" shouted an older man as his eyes hysterically darted across the sea of zeros that flooded his bill. Across from him sat a large man in his mid-30s sporting an unkempt beard and perfectly accented his apathetic demeanor. Few would recognize this massive muscular figure as a doctor if not for the filthy frayed lab coat he wore. "Ah, my bad, I got that number wrong, didn't I?" the doctor answered in a low voice. He took the bill from the older man and quickly scribbled an extra zero on the end. Seeing the price jump by tenfold in an instant, the old man's face changed from an anxious pale to a furious shade of red just as quickly. Dirty swindler! These treatments cost are ridiculous. I refuse to pay this." And indeed, it was far beyond what any legitimate doctor was legally allowed to charge for medical services in Rumifaria. Watching the outraged old man sputter and curse, the doctor couldn't help but laugh. Something tells me you've got more than enough mirror sitting around. Hard to say if any of it's clean, but I'll still accept it. Kind man that I am. The patient was a corrupt politician, his infamy bolstered by an unending rumors surrounding his bribery and tax evasion. He had come to the doctor that day with 3 bullets in his body. It was apparent, by his choice of physician, the politician had landed himself in some manner of serious trouble. Trouble that would ruin his reputation if his wounds had become publicly known. As this particular doctor had extracted the bullets in secret, however, the standard surgery cost had been bolstered by a few additional fees to ensure his silence. I figured that would be more than a fair price in exchange for one's life, the doctor said in a calm tone that only barely concealed the threats behind his words. However, this simply seemed to provoke the old man even further. In a rage, he drew a concealed orbital gun and thrust it into the doctor's back. The doctor, unperturbed, simply continued smiling. "Oh? Well, as your physician, I feel like I should advise you. Your treatment isn't quite complete yet. If you put that bullet in me, I certainly won't be able to take the last one out of you, rather." He turned and pointed his finger at the old man's stomach. Running his hand over the spot the doctor indicated, the old man felt a jolt of pain. There was something hard, still lodged in his skin. The doctor had intentionally left the last bullet untouched. Realizing the position he was in, the old man slowly lowered his gun, a look of pain and defeat on his face. "I trust this clears up the issue of the bill then." The flames of anger left the old man's eyes. All that remained was fear. Shortly after the doctor finished the surgery. The man's name was Glenn. Despite an exceptionally talented doctor, he was unaffiliated with any kind of hospital in the Principality, known as the Back Alley Doctor. He treated everyone from politicians to illegal immigrants to murderers, and demanded outrageous prices in return for his secrecy. A few days later, Glenn sat down in his worn-down chair and gazed absently at the suitcase containing 10 million mirror that had been delivered to his clinic. He moved his gaze to the window and stared at the heavy drops of rain splashing against the pane. It was an uncommon sight to get such laden raindrops in the colder northern climate of Rumifaria. Surely, no clients would be showing up today of all days, he thought to himself as sheets of water began pounding on his window in the din of the wind, and the rain grew even louder outside. Pardon me? The sudden sound of a voice from behind him snapped Glenn out of his thoughts. He turned his head to see a nurse standing in the hallway of his dilapidated clinic. And that begins our story of the Back Alley Dr. Glenn. Oh, your game Fire Emblem Shadows is installed and ready to play. Calm down. I'm reading. Watch. Is there a doctor by the name of Glenn here? The nurse asked with a smooth, dignified tone. As she stood in the entry, that's not the tone that I gave her. As she stood there in the entry of the clinic, she had a youthful beauty to her. Glenn guessed that she must be in her early 20s. Yeah, that would be me. Glenn motioned for her to come in. She bowed, folded her umbrella, and closed the door behind her. The umbrella clearly hadn't served her well. In the windy downpour outside, the raindrops trickled from her bangs, running down her cheeks on the fabric of her uniform, the front, which was completely sodden. Glenn carelessly threw the case of mirror into a corner, grabbed a clean white towel from a nearby shelf, and tossed it to the nurse. She thanked him and quickly dried her wet hair. As Glenn watched her, he noticed that her movements had a certain charm to him. Getting a look at her face, he found himself utterly captivated for a moment, so much so that he nearly blurted out something along the lines of, "Haven't we met before?" He stopped himself in time, however, not wanting to utter such a painfully cliche pickup line. He cleared his throat in order to regain his composure, then offered her a seat. So, what do you want from me? My name is Sherry. I work as a nurse at the Ameria General Hospital. A boy with an incurable disease was hospitalized just yesterday. I request that you operate on him. Silence filled the clinic. Surprised by the lack of response, Sherry tilted her head inquisitively. A moment later, the response came. It started off as a stifled chuckle, but quickly exploded into great booming laughter. Glenn knew about Ameria. It was one of the biggest hospitals in the Principality, personally backed by the head of the state, the Prince. It was a facility said to have brought together the best doctors from far and wide, and one that sported the latest medical technology and the most cutting-edge techniques. It was also a hospital that was protective of its image. Patients deemed incurable were outsourced, so as not to reflect poorly on the hospital's track record. For a back alley doctor like Glenn, whose business relied heavily on confidentiality, this wasn't an unusual request. The thought of the high and mighty hospital administrators having to resort to asking a displaced doctor like himself for help was always a great source of amusement to him. However, did the distinguished gentleman in the ivory tower of a hospital mention how much it is for me? Glenn's jovial mood subsided as he instantly switched to a business-like demeanor. If he was going to do their dirty work, he was planning to make sure the compensation was thorough. Sherry sternly stared back before responding, her voice with firm determination. There appears to be a misunderstanding. I'm not making this request on behalf of the hospital. This is my own personal request. Wait, what? Glenn was taken off his guard by the sudden admission. Averting her eyes, Sherry continued, my patient suffers from crystallization. Crystallization. Glenn's eyes widened at the name. He knew it well. Further, he now understood exactly why she came to him. The disease has great significance to Glenn, as it was not an exaggeration to say it was the sole reason he became a back alley doctor in the first place. Take me to the patient. I'll decide what I'll do after a medical examination, he said without hesitation. Sherry nodded in agreement. Interesting. Crystallization. How many chapters are these? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? Okay, well, Chapter 3. The patient. As the two of them made their way up to the hospital, the rain let up, draping them in a cold, humid air. Far from a fair distance off, their destination could be seen, standing proudly against the gray sky above. It's quite the place, isn't it? Glenn mumbled to himself, half to himself as they arrived. Ameria General Hospital was built only last year. It was a marvelous structure, pristine and dignified, clearly a project the prince himself could be proud of. Dr. Glenn, this way. Sherry ushered the awestruck Glenn further inside. Given that he was an outsider not employed by the hospital, it was against Ameria policy for Glenn to examine a patient. Knowing this, he had hoped to stand out as little as possible. However, walking through the spotless, gleaming, bright hallways of the White Ward only served to highlight the dirt stains covering Glenn's shabby coat and the tangled mess of hair that covered his head. Stares from the patients and staff alike bore down on him as he hurriedly followed Sherry. She led him through a number of corridors until they finally arrived at the pediatric ward, room 303. Sherry knocked 3 times before entering. Inside, a young boy of about 14 years old lay in a hospital bed. As Sherry entered, he turned to her and puffed his cheeks in indignation. "Sherry, where are you?" the boy whined to an apologetic Sherry. Brazen would be a perfect description of the child, but it was apparent that he and Sherry were close. Sherry introduced Glenn to the boy, whose name was Hugo! Hugo! Greeted Glenn with a friendly, "Nice to meet you." Glenn, however, didn't respond. Instead, he swept his eyes around the room, rather spotting a violin leaning against the wall. He remembered what Sherry told him along the way. Said to be a violin prodigy, Hugo had already won a great number of competitions before reaching his teens, rather. The month prior, the magazines had run features on him, praising the young musician's skill. Just when his fame was beginning to soar, however, he was struck with crystallization. Glenn looked down at the boy and saw that he wore thick gloves on both hands. Upon seeing the gloves, the grizzled doctor made a sour face. He knew patients with the disease would often use gloves to conceal their symptoms. Let's start the medical examination. Glenn bluntly announced, quickly approaching Hugo and forcibly grabbing the boy's wrist. "What are you doing?" Hugo began. Struggling, but he couldn't break free from Glenn's iron grip. In fact, most adults would have found it difficult to escape from the back alley doctor's brawny arms. Sherry worriedly watched over the tactless examination as Glenn removed the glove from the still struggling boy's hand. Glenn's breath caught in his throat upon seeing the gleam. There, at the end of the boy's arms, where there should have been a small tender hand, sat a cold crystalline mass. It shone with a familiar green color, that of Esmelus gemstone. It was unmistakable. This was crystallization. Well, we haven't experienced that, but we may in the future, unless it's purely fake. But these books have all had a little bit of truth to them. Not for nothing. Number 5. Rufus and Ron Stoppable. It's no use. It's no use. That man can't do it. Glenn and Sherry looked up to see someone standing quiet in the quiet corridor of the hospital. He was a slender, tall man in a spotless white coat. He cast his piercing gaze from behind his silver-rimmed glasses. "Doctor!" Being a nurse at Ameria General Hospital, Sherry knew him as one of the doctors and worked with him daily. Glenn also happened to know this particular man, though it's been 10 years since they last spoke. "Rufus." "Glenn, what are you doing here?" Rufus scowled. Sherry lacked of surprise at this exchange suggested she was aware the two of them were acquainted. However, she could do little more than watch dejectedly as the tensions rose in the air. Rufus looked at her and sighed, an annoying crease forming around his brow. "What made you think it was a good idea to bring some back alley doctor like him here? You should know that this could hurt the hospital's reputation." The look in Sherry's eyes switched to one of resolve. She was well aware of the consequences when she brought Glenn here. It was not about to give up yet. "What do you mean by can't?" she asked, as if challenging Rufus's words. Glenn found himself wondering why Sherry's patient, the boy in the nearby room, was so important to her. However, he decided against voicing this question for the moment and stood in silence. "Simple. That man abandons his work. When it came down to it, he ran away from being a doctor. No matter how skilled he may be, someone like him is incapable of curing the incurable. He cannot stop the crystallization disorder." Glenn let out a dry, bitter laugh as though agreeing with Rufus. Then, without saying anything further, he turned and began walking away. "Dr. Glenn!" Sherry hastily followed after him. Rufus looked on as the two of them made their way down the hall. As he turned a corner, Rufus uttered a quiet humph before turning his attention to the nearby room, room 303, the room where Hugo was staying. He cleared his throat and knocked 3 times. "Hugo, it's time for your checkup." From the rooftop of Ameria General Hospital, Glenn gazed down at the city streets lined with high-end stores and well-kept houses. The riddled with signs of advanced orbital technology, with the country having been integrated brought him no peace, however. Instead, it only made him miss the rough-hewn charm of the city's declining downtown. He felt like it suited him much better than a pristine site. Sherry stood behind him, a worried expression on her face. "Doctor, Rufus, how good is his work?" Glenn asked, more to interrupt her and change the subject than any actual curiosity. Unable to get around his deflection, she had no choice but to answer the sudden question. "Dr. Rufus was scouted when this hospital was first founded. He has saved many lives over the course of his career. In addition, he's published a great number of research papers. There are even rumors that he's going to be hired as a professor, despite only being 34. He's an ordinary man doing his own thing rather than an ordinary way, Glenn said with a satisfied look. Even that ordinary man wants to save the boy's life, Sherry shouted. Her outburst rather faded to a muted tone, however, as she continued. But he plans to amputate Hugo's hands. If that's what'll save the boy's life, that's what should be done, Glenn said, matter-of-factly. He expected this conversation to end there, just as their previous exchange in the hallway had. Sherry, however, would not accept this outcome. Dr. Glenn, 10 years ago, you devised a surgical method to reverse crystallization process. That's why, even if it's a risk, if there's a chance Hugo might be able to keep his hands, I want to bet on your success. Hearing that caught Glenn by surprise. Glenn chanced upon the idea years ago, a revolutionary technique able to reverse the process of the disease to cure it without amputating the crystallized parts. It really would make the impossible possible, Kaito Momota. Certainly rather, if it worked, Hugo's life and dream alike would be saved, but even so, the thought of revisiting the chapter of his past only reopened a scar on Glenn's soul. After a few moments of silence, he spoke. You know that technique was a failure, right? Sherry cast her eyes downward in silence. She knew about the operation's outcome. And because of that, I lost her. With a somber tone, Glenn began to recount the story of his past, an incident 10 years ago. What happened 10 years ago? Oh, we're at number 6? I thought we were at number 4. Okay, we're moving. Katarina. Okay. 10 years ago, Glenn worked with Rufus at a hospital in the Principality of Rimaferia. Two of them, blessed with talent, were promising names among young doctors. One day, the two visited a small theater where they saw a traditional Rimaferia dance known as ballet. The dancer on stage was incredibly talented. Both men were awestruck, instantly falling for her. Her name was Katarina Ford. The two doctors came back many times to watch her perform, and as by fate, somehow became acquainted with this girl whose smile shone like the sun. The two men even got to know her child's sister, who took a liking to them as well. It wasn't long before Glenn and Katarina fell in love. Is there a world where she is the child's sister? You know? They were a perfect match, even that Rufus, his friend and rival in love, wholeheartedly supported the couple. However, their happy days would be all too short. One day, Katarina came down with an incurable disease and was hospitalized at Glenn and Rufus' workplace. The disease in question was none other than crystallization. Her legs, the life of a ballerina were immobilized, converted, to beautiful as well as crystals up to her ankles. Ha, it's pretty, right? She said, smiling, holding the gemstone that was once her foot up to the light. It was Katarina's way of staying strong and positive, typical of her bright personality. Glenn and Rufus, the doctors charged with her care, found it increasingly difficult to have such an outlook, however. To save her life, they both knew there was no other way than to amputate the crystallized feet. It had to be done. Soon. But despite everything, they couldn't bring themselves to take such a drastic measure, for Katarina's heart still burned with the passion of dancing, a passion that would surely and cruelly be snuffed out were she undergo an amputation. The doctors searched desperately for an alternative, any possible method that might save both her legs and her life. They scoured records of all known cases of crystallization. They examined and re-examined her to try and find the real cause. Any possible lead or hypothesis that followed up on as quickly as possible, and one day their frantic work finally paid off. Glenn had made a discovery. Patients with crystallization all had a common system, common symptom, a small tumor in the heart. Initial studies suggested that this growth secreted a specific type of toxin that was then dispersed through the bloodstream and deposited in the extremities of the body. When it became accumulated in great enough quantities, it would convert the patient's hands and feet into familiar green crystals. If the tumor could be surgically removed, the root cause would be no more, and the condition would slowly reverse over time. Though the medical world was excited over these findings, the two doctors in charge of Katarina did not rejoice. The removal of a tumor inside the heart was extremely dangerous operation, right? That's what I'm saying. Tumor on the heart? Yo. Even in a country as renowned for its top-tier medical practices as Rimaferia, it was an intensely difficult surgery. If they had failed, it would mean her death. But that was not... time was not on their side, the crystallization was advancing. They had to make a decision. The only option is to remove the crystallized parts. Choosing between life and ballet is foolish, Rufus asserted. Not wanting to go through with such a risky procedure, Glenn agreed in its conclusion. Even if his love would lose her ability to dance, as long as she had her life, she could find new passion. Katarina, however, disagreed. Ballet is everything to me. Losing my life is no different than losing my life. If there is even a small chance that you can do it, I want to bet on your success. Oh my gosh. Same wording, too. She begged her beloved Glenn. As the operation neared, Glenn grew rather more conflicted by the day. She was betting on his success, but with her life as the chips. The closer the surgery drew, the more he began to worry. In the end, her wishes got through to him, and he decided to do as he was asked. Rufus was fiercely opposed, but upon seeing the look in Glenn's eyes, he understood his friend's resolve. Seeing that Glenn would do anything to save her, he realized there was nothing he could say or do to stop him. The day arrived, Glenn was on to be the surgeon. Katarina's sister looked on with concern as Katarina was transported to the operating room. "I believe in you, Glenn," she whispered. Grasping Glenn's rugged hand, she fell into a deep slumber under anesthesia, and she never woke up. Glenn's story was finished by Rufus as he stepped out to join them on the rooftop. Dang. Afterwards, Glenn abandoned the hospital. He ran away from Katarina's death and became a good-for-nothing back alley doctor. Upon hearing Rufus's words, Sherry glanced over at Glenn. "What do you want, Rufus?" Glenn didn't look at his old friend. He simply continued staring down at the city below. Rufus took a moment to choose his words carefully before replying. "The date for Hugo's operation has been decided. It's 1 week from today." Dang. All right. Well, I think I might be kind of locked in now. I'm kind of locked in. Okay. The clash. Upon hearing the news from Rufus, Sherry immediately objected. "Wait, Dr. Rufus, it's too soon. Unfortunately, the symptoms of crystallization will not wait. We need to operate as soon as we can." Rufus responded. Glenn turned his back to them and didn't show any reaction. He simply continued to gaze down at the city as he listened silently. "We discussed this with Hugo, and he consented to it. As a nurse, you aren't in any position to object." He continued. Well, if he agreed to it, then, you know. His cold statement temporarily got the better of Sherry. Without any way to dispute Rufus's words, she bit her lip in a pained dismay. The worst part was, she knew he was right. Hugo's, the 14-year-old boy body was smaller than an average adult, so the time left until crystallization reached his heart was also shorter. It was a natural, logical decision for the doctor to proceed with the surgery as soon as possible. Even so, Sherry protested, "Doctor, do you think nothing of Hugo losing his hands?" "What am I to be concerned with?" Rufus replied without hesitation. What I'm to be concerned with is whether he loses his life. Preserving that is my top priority. He won't be able to pursue any dreams if he dies." In other words, Sherry could feel the pain he felt at losing Katarina. Knowing this, she could not hide her sorrow. Rufus looked past Sherry to the large-framed doctor, who was still looking out over the city. "I will save this child," he declared to Glenn. "Good. Saves me the trouble of declining," Glenn said as he turned and began to leave, his eyes avoiding Rufus as he passed. "Do your best, Dr. Rufus." He waved nonchalantly goodbye, his back turned to the others as he exited the rooftop. "Pathetic," Rufus muttered. With that over, he urged Sherry to return to work, telling her that he would let the fact that she secretly called in an unregistered doctor slide this time. Her shoulders sagged as she listened to, I don't know what that said. As she listened, her eyes were fixed on the ground. She was lost in her thoughts, swirling emotions. "Don't involve him, it will only make this more difficult for you," Rufus concluded. Sherry raised her head at those words and looked directly into Rufus's eyes. "I'm sorry, Dr. Rufus, but there's one thing I forgot to tell Dr. Glenn." "What?" Rufus asked. Confused, Sherry did not answer the question. However, she simply began hurrying after Glenn. Rufus was alone on the roof. The wind began to pick up, causing his white coat to flutter. He rubbed his temples and let out a long, deep sigh. "I forgot to tell him who I am." Irritation. Glenn returned to the clinic downtown. He found the place just as he left it. After walking through the pristine white halls of the hospital, however, he was all the more aware of how shabby and disorderly the tiny clinic was. He glanced over at the corner where he had thrown the case full of Mira. 10 million Mira! It sat there still, nestled with dusty cobwebs. He wasn't gone for long. Goodness gracious, this place is a mess. Even if the building he worked out of was 40 years old, it would surely be in better shape if he maintained it every now and then. And thanks to his confidentiality fees, it wasn't as though he lacked for Mira. He simply didn't have the energy for it. "Glenn, "You're a respectable doctor," Katerina would chide him. "You should care more about how you look." Her words bubbled up in his mind as he slumped down into his worn-out chair. It was something she had said to him more than one occasion when she was still alive. Being a ballerina, she was always conscious of her appearance, both on and off stage. She was elegant, beautiful, bright. She was everything Glenn lacked, which is also why it attracted him to her in the first place. In all likelihood, the same was true of Rufus as well. Glenn's mind darted to another familiar thought, one that he repeatedly dwelt on for the past decade. How would everything have turned out if she had chosen Rufus instead of him? After coming down with crystallization, she was left with two options: give up her legs to ensure her survival, or try to save her legs by gambling with her life. She chose the latter and begged Glenn to attempt the risky surgery. Though initially unsure, he eventually sympathized with her and attempted it. Had she been with Rufus, however, in Glenn's mind, there was a chance Rufus would have chosen to go against her wishes and save her life. If things had turned out that way, she would have survived. Even without her legs, she would still be around. She might even have found a new passion, one just as dear as to her as ballet was, rather. Glenn knew all too well that thinking on what-ifs was utterly useless, yet even so, he had spent every single day in the 10 years since her death going over every detail, replaying every mistake, theorizing every other possible outcome, each day sinking into his regrets until he was drowning in it, no longer able to see the surface. I like that. Today was different, though. After returning from Ameria, Glenn's heart churned like a stormy sea. Was seeing Hugo's crystallized hands the cause? Did hearing how the boy had to choose between his dreams and his life hit too close to home? Perhaps it was simply seeing Rufus again after all these years, or maybe it was all of the above. Coming up against such a familiar situation, having to relive the same traumatic events that sent him down the path of becoming a back alley doctor. Regardless of the cause, he was irritated. Drawing short, ragged breaths, he went to his desk and opened the second drawer. After digging in the back for a moment, he drug out an old, massive file. It bore no title, but one look at its size and the sheer number of papers stuffed inside was a clear sign of how many years it took to compile, rather. Glenn suddenly stared at it in silence for a moment. Suddenly, a white-hot rage bubbled up inside of him, and using the full force of his brawny arms, he threw the file with all of his might and hit the wall with a dull thud. Busting open, sorry, Toon Link, I almost knocked you down. Busting open, scattering its contents all over the floor. The outburst did not bring Glenn any peace, however. As he watched the paper flutter down before him, the only thing left that he felt was his battered heart breaking even further. "Doctor?" The sudden sound of a familiar voice behind him snapped Glenn out of his thoughts. He turned his head to see someone standing in the hallway. It was the nurse from Ameria Hospital, Sherry. She looked around the room in surprise at the paper scattered around the floor. "If this was about the operation, it was already settled, remember?" Glenn growled in a low voice, glaring at her angrily. She was taken aback for a moment at the darkness in his gaze, but quickly regained her composure. "I've only come here to tell you something I'd forgotten to mention before." Something you'd forgotten to mention," Glenn said, his patience running thin. Glenn's furious glare would quickly transform into a bewildered expression, however, as she continued. "Yep. Sherry is just my nickname," she said in a firm voice. "My full name is Cheryl Ford. The woman you loved, the woman who lost her life to crystallization. I'm her sister." Dunk, dunk, dunk! Good. I was like, they gotta do that. That's some good writing right there. Chapter 9, Sherry. "You're Katerina's sister?" The shock of it all sent Glenn reeling for a moment. Sherry remained composed, however. She looked straight at him and nodded. Looking into his eyes, it was clear to Glenn that she was telling the truth. "Cheryl, I remember the name. She was Katerina's younger sister. I'd seen her many times during Katerina's hospital stay. Cheryl had been with her older sister on the fated day, right up until she had taken into the operation room. Looking closer at Cheryl, the resemblance was obvious. She had a familiar kind of dignity and elegance in her eyes, the same grace in her movements that Katerina had, and that's why he said before, 'Have we met somewhere before?' Glenn felt ashamed at failing to notice her. Was he so disconnected from those he once cared for? He stood there for a moment, lost in his thoughts. Cheryl broke the silence. "Your cure for crystallization cost my sister her life, but why did she request such a risky surgery in the first place? Have you ever thought about the reason, Dr. Glenn?" "It was so she could keep her legs and continue to be a ballerina," Glenn responded reflexively. Cheryl shook her head. "That wasn't it. That wasn't just it, at least. The day after you discovered the idea, she told me she wanted to try it. I was against it. I'd heard it was very risky. I told her I wanted her rather to give up ballet in order to guarantee she would live, but she didn't hesitate in her reply. Cheryl closed her eyes and put a hand to her chest as if recounting her late sister's words. I want to do it not just for my sake, or so that I can continue rather as a ballerina. This is a terrible illness, rather. When I was told the only way I could survive was to involve losing my legs, I was in despair. But when Glenn told me he discovered a new surgical technique to cure it, I felt a warmth shining in my heart. I think this is what hope is. That's a trigger word yonder these parts. If this method rather succeeds, it could bring the same hope to other patients with crystallization. I know this operation is still imperfect and it comes with a high risk, but that's exactly why I'd be the first to try it. Whether it succeeds or fails, I'm sure that Glenn will learn something and be able to perfect it further. Before long, nobody will have to fear crystallization, because one way or another, my beloved Glenn will succeed. Well, now he's gotta do it. Hearing Katarina's words, Glenn couldn't shake the feeling that she was talking directly to him through her sister. Sherry continued, I mourn the death of my sister too, and yet I can't help but recall how you and Dr. Rufus did everything you could to save her. The respect I have for the two of you led me to pursue nursing, so please, doctor, don't regret your choice. Her message was no, there we go. Her message was delivered. She bowed. I didn't know I could go back, I've been clicking A to advance, so I've been thinking that like B also like unadvances, but it just closed the book. I can just go left and right. But today I learned. Her message delivered, rather, she bowed. And after a long moment of silence, she raised her head and quickly left the clinic, rather. Glenn, still speechless, slowly and shakily lowered himself into his chair. For what seemed like hours, he stared at the spot where Sherry stood, rather. The irritation he felt had vanished, suddenly leaving clarity I hadn't felt in a long time. He now finally knew what Katarina had been thinking back then. He had heard her words from 10 years ago, and her sister left him with the parting words of her own, don't regret your choice. All I had to do now was decide how to respond. The next morning, Glenn began carefully picking up the paper scattered across the floor. The regret and anger that filled his eyes the day before had been replaced with the fires of determination. They will burn brighter as we enter chapter 10 of 14, Hope. It was the evening 3 days before Hugo's amputation was about to take place, and after the date had been decided, Rufus, as the boy's doctor, had been visiting his room each day to explain a little bit more about the procedure. Are you listening, Hugo? Rufus asked in a tactful voice. Since his surgery had been scheduled, Hugo had been absent-mindedly listening. The reason was clear to everyone there. He had no hope for a future without his hands, a future where he would never play the violin again. Sherry, the nurse assigned to care for Hugo and assist Rufus, could hardly bear it. I hate this, Hugo suddenly said, gazing down at his thick gloves that were covering his crystallized hands. Why me? Why am I the one who has to go through this? Sherry bit her lip to hold back her frustrations. It'll be okay, Hugo, she said, having lost her sister to the illness. She knew just how hollow the words must have sounded to the boy, but she couldn't think of anything else to say to him. Rufus, however, calmly responded, I've seen many patients over the course of my career, rather. Among them were some whose lives slipped away without even so much of a glimmer of hope that they might survive. In your case, however, your survival can be guaranteed. As long as you undergo the procedure, you will live on. You will be able to find a new path. I think that's quite fortunate, don't you? His words left the boy no room to object. Hugo gritted his teeth for a moment, but he seemed to deflate afterwards, as though resigning himself to his fate. This is fine, Rufus thought. As long as he lives, he will still have possibilities. He only needs to find new passion. Not like Katarina. When she lost her life, she lost all potential futures. An answer like that is just you. I'm sorry, an answer like that is just you. A baritone voice interrupted. Everyone there turned to look at the entrance of the room. It's him! Say his name and he appears. Back alley, Dr. Glenn. He stood there with his burly frame, filling the door frame. Dr. Glenn said his name. Sherry gasped. Her heart filled with relief for what felt like the first time in a while. Glenn showed her a small smile. "Why are you here?" Rufus adjusted his glasses and tried to glare at the unkempt man from behind his silver rims. Without answering, Glenn merely stared back, a look in his eyes alone repelling the question. Rufus frowned. Glenn stood before him now in the worlds apart. Seemed worlds apart from the man, rather, he last saw on the hospital roof. Glenn looked at Hugo in bed. In the bed, rather. A flash of discomfort briefly washed over the boy's face as he recalled the doctor's previous rough treatment. The feeling quickly faded, however, as the apathy and despair had taken a hold of Hugo's heart and reasserted itself. Your name is Hugo, right? Glenn asked, looking down at the boy in the hospital bed. "Tell me, are you willing to risk dying?" Glenn's abrupt statement startled everyone present. Not waiting for a response, Glenn continued. "There's a procedure that can cure your crystallization without amputating your hands, but it comes with a high risk. It's not something you can just overcome through sheer determination. The danger is real, and the consequences could be fatal. You must be willing to accept that. Are you?" Each word he uttered was like the weight dropped on a 10-year-old's mind, rather. I'm sorry, a 14-year-old's mind. The look in Glenn's eyes made it clear he was not overstating how risky the procedure was. It truly could result in Hugo's death. But if he had the resolve, if he was willing to take that risk, then everything then everything could be over without losing his hands, without losing his musical aspirations. Hugo overcame with emotion, started to cry. The wishes he had buried, the feelings repressed for the sake of his survival, burst out from him all at once. I would die for these hands. The light of hope was shining in his heart. Chapter 11. He gonna save his hands. We've been doing this for 40 minutes. We might not finish today. There might be one more day, you guys. Chapter 11. Even though it seems like we're about to go to, I feel like we might stop wherever we're going briefly. I think because we've done 30 minutes of theorizing and 40 minutes of this, and I know that we have another, hour? We're already at like 2 hours and something. There might be one more episode. Resolve, Chapter 11. Hugo, you should reconsider, Rufus swiftly interjected. Though he was addressing Hugo, his gaze was fixed clearly and squarely on Glenn. Rufus shot a fierce glare at his former colleague. This procedure to cure him without losing his hands, is this the same procedure you attempted on Katarina? You should know better than anyone. And what a failure that was. The cold anger in Rufus' voice pierced Glenn like an icy dagger. Glenn picked up a thick file. He hadn't given up. This is a result of the research I've done in the 10 years since I became a back alley doctor. He tossed the file at Rufus, who was taken off guard for a moment by its sheer weight. He began scanning the documents. The file contained an enormous amount of research about crystallizations, clinical records, medical cases, reports of procedures and results. It was obviously some materials were illegally obtained, but they were all highly informational. As Rufus reached the final document in the file, his eyes widened. The document was a highly detailed description of a new surgical procedure different from the one that Rufus knew, the one that had cost Katarina her life. I've developed that after going over everything that's happened during Katarina's surgery back then. It's all thanks to her, Glenn said quietly, before falling silent. It was clear that he continued fighting the crystallization disease for a long time, even after he left the lawless medical practice. Yeah, dang right, Rufus, he never gave up. You can't see a man like that. Years of treating patients as a back alley doctor had allowed him to research and perfect a few new procedures. Because one way or another, my beloved Glenn will succeed. Realizing her sister's words were right, Sherry began to softly cry. It's true. It is true that by performing the procedure this way, the odds of the patient's survival should be greatly increased, said Rufus after glancing over the document. The effectiveness of Glenn's perfected technique was immediately clear to him. Hugo even perked up upon hearing Rufus's approval. However, Rufus then looked up at Glenn, the same icy glares in his eyes. Even so, I cannot hand my patient over to you. Well, why? Sherry stammered, bewildered. Glenn simply stood silently as Rufus continued. I've heard from Sherry how Katarina faced the danger of that surgery in order to give you more experience, to ensure that if she did not survive, others would. She had the resolve to sacrifice her own life for that, but do you? I'm sorry, but you rather? But like, but do you is kind of the same thing. Rufus's eyes narrowed as he continued to glare at Glenn. In the face of her death, you chose to run. You fled the hospital to go wallow in an alley for a decade. He did research for a decade. Your resolve is nowhere near hers, and I refuse to entrust one of my patients to someone as weak-willed as you. Glenn closed his eyes and let Rufus's words sink in. They cut through him like a finely honed blade, made all the more sharp by the fact that he knew every word was true. You're absolutely right. But back then, I didn't even have the bare minimum of the resolve that I needed to take down this disease. As a result, I ran away and started drowning in my regrets. Glenn looked at Rufus square in the eye. But you know what? Thanks to these past 10 years of wallowing in an alley, I've learned a few things. As he finished speaking, he moved his hand to his hip. He felt the familiar sensation of the cold metallic object that he had concealed there. Holding the grip firmly, he pulled it out and pointed it directly at Rufus. It took a moment for Rufus to register what was going on, but when his eyes finally focused on the object that was now hovering at the tip of his nose, he realized that he was looking down the barrel of a Reinford model gun. The light from the setting sun flooded the room's windows and cast a golden gleam on the weapon's surface. Despite the warm light, it felt as though the air in the room had suddenly froze. Are you threatening me? Rufus finally forced out a question to break the stunned silence. His tone was defiant, but he could do nothing to hide his trembling. Glenn smirked and wryly began to move his finger towards the trigger, Then suddenly, in one fluid motion, he flipped the gun around in his hand. The muzzle spun towards him. The situation was reversed with it. Since the patient bears a risk of dying, it only makes sense that I, as his doctor, should also bear an equal risk. Glenn said, offering the gun to Rufus. If surgery doesn't succeed, I want you to use this to kill me. It's pretty goated. It was clear from the steely look in Glenn's eyes that he was absolutely serious. This was a unique resolve forged from years of dealing with criminals, the resolve that only a doctor of the underworld could have. A heavy silence fell over the room as everyone awaited Rufus's answer. He calmly closed his eyes, his expression hidden by the sunlight reflecting off his lenses. After a moment, he reached out and grabbed the grip of the gun. What a stupid stunt, he said, a small grin on his face. But your resolve seems to be real enough at least. If you truly think that this procedure of yours can save Hugo, then I'll bet on your success too. Everyone's betting on my boy. What if he just fails? That would suck. The operation. Rufus summoned all the doctors who were to be involved in the operation now taking place in 2 days to one of the hospital's conference rooms. There, he introduced Glenn's new surgical procedure to them, arguing it was the most effective means of dealing with crystallization. However, he received a cold response from the other doctors first. They were not about to easily trust some unlicensed doctor running around in a back alley clinic. Not only were his skills called into question, but the shady reputation preceded him, making it difficult for the pair to gain any ground in the prestigious hospital. Despite this, Rufus was undeterred and continued to lobby for their approval in performing the procedure. His ardent persuasion, combined with the impressive merits of the procedure and Glenn's thorough explanation of it, slowly won them over one by one, and they withdrew their objections. With the hospital on board with the plan, Rufus and Glenn began going over the steps of the surgery over and over. Every single day they had before was scheduled to take place. They wanted to do everything that they could to ensure that things would go as planned. For her part, Nurse Sherry continued to look after Hugo. His mood had undergone a dramatic change over the past few days. Before, when he was certain that he would lose his hands, his eyes were dull and listless, but now they were bright and alive. He had hope. All too soon, the day of the operation arrived. Hugo's parents, whose jobs had unfortunately kept them unable to frequently visit the hospital, made time to come to see their son. "I'll see you soon," he said to them as he was wheeled into the operating room. Both he and his parents were aware that there was a chance that these would be his final words. And so, he gave them a brilliant smile to reassure them before he was taken away. He had no fear himself. The presence of the two excellent doctors overseeing the operation was all that he needed. Hugo was given anesthesia and finally taken into the operating room. Glenn and Rufus sterilized the surgical instruments that had been prepared, were laid out as the attending physician. Glenn stood before the unconscious patient. The other doctors, led by Rufus, took cue and headed to their respective positions. For the first time in nearly a decade, Glenn had tidied himself up. He was now wearing a clean, light blue surgical attire, baby. His normally scraggly hair tied back. He was like, your boy gonna be clean today, and almost gave the appearance of an hint of elegance, or at least it would have, had he not been safely tucked into a surgical cap. Nurse Sherry was there as well, attending the operation as an assistant to Glenn and Rufus. She exchanged a wordless glance with Glenn, and he nodded in response. At long last, the time had come. His time was now. Well then, I'll start the procedure, Glenn announced. Rufus handed him a scalpel, and he began. He skillfully drew the sharpened tools across the incision lines that had been marked on the boy's chest, and the skin parted without resistance. As humanity evolved, so too did the human body refine over its countless generations. Its various systems and parts came together to work like a beautiful whole, an elegant link of orbital gears. The body is an incredible machine, astronomically more complex than anything mankind was able to create despite all of their advances. It's true. The human body is kind of crazy, dude. And yet, as incredible as the bodies are, they will still break down, whether due to illness or injury. A body will require repair and maintenance. It's a doctor's job to fix that which is broken and restore a body to working condition, to whatever is required to prolong the dazzling gleam of life as long as possible. No matter if it was in the spotless operating room of a prestigious hospital or the worn-down grungy halls of his back alley clinic, each time Glenn performed a surgery, it was his duty. He felt delighted and privileged to be able to perform. He was grateful to the goddess for giving him such talent and for giving him 10 million mira. With that gratitude in his heart, he and the skillful movements of the scalpel in his hands, Hugo's operation was progressing smoothly. Everyone in attendance stood in awe of Glenn's artful surgical skills as they played their own parts to perfection. Sherry wiped the sweat from his brow. Rufus handled the surgical tools as the other doctors oversaw key elements such as medical equipment and anesthesia. At long last, the boy's heart was exposed. Reaching this part of the surgery typically took some time, but after watching Glenn's effortless movements, it almost seemed like everyone there that no time had passed at all. Down in Hugo's chest cavity, his heart beat with a healthy tempo and color. Healthy with, at the exception of the sinister dark mass that clung to the organ surface. This was the cause of everything, the tumor that resulted in the body's crystallization. The malignant growth had taken Katarina's life and countless others. A little more, hang in there, Hugo, Sherry whispered to the sleeping boy, but as Glenn stared at the murky tumor that sat in front of him, his hand froze in place. 2 chapters left. What's wrong? Rufus asked, noticing Glenn's hesitation. Dr. Glenn? Sherry looked up at him with concern. The other doctors looked on in confusion, not understanding what happened. The moment Glenn caught sight of Hugo's pulsing heart, marred by that small blackened lump, his mind was pulled back to Katarina's surgery. On that day, 10 years ago, everything had progressed smoothly, and by all appearances, the operation had been successful. The heart surgery is always a highly dangerous undertaking, but Glenn, gifted with his talent that he was, had succeeded in removing the crystallization tumor without incident. Everyone participating in the surgery watched as the color returned to the heart, believing that they had finally triumphed over the disease, They had been too quick to celebrate, however. The tumor had been more closely tied to the surrounding tissue than expected. Removing it weakened the wall of the heart considerably. Just as Glenn was closing up the chest, the part of the heart where the tumor once sat tore open, resulting in a large hemorrhage. Katarina's life flickered out swiftly thereafter. As Glenn stared at the familiar sight of the tumor on Hugo's heart, his own was gripped with fear. Fear that history would repeat itself, that he would be responsible for another death. Glenn's body stiffened, his mind went blank, and his focus shattered as he began drowning in his past regrets once more. Glenn! A powerful yell from his old friend Rufus snapped him back to reality. Rufus had seized Glenn's lapels and was shaking him. You should know better than this. Think of absolutely nothing besides the operation. The only thing that matters right now is saving Hugo's life. This boy, he believes in you. Show him that your trust was not misplaced. Glenn was taken aback. He looked at the sleeping boy whose heart lay exposed on the operating table. Thump, 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 thump. The heart pounded as if calling out to Glenn. Thump, 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 thump. Telling him that the boy still lived. Thump, 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 thump. And could still be saved. That's right. This isn't the time to be spacing out, Glenn thought. He took a brief moment to compose himself, slapped himself 3 times, bam, bam, bam. Stopped on his right foot, don't forget it. And he took a brief, and then once again faced Hugo. His eyes set with resolve once more. Seeing this, Rufus let go of him and signaled to the others to resume the operation. Sherry sighed in relief, as ready to herself as well. Rufus assumed the position opposite Glenn. It was time to perform the new technique. the segment of the operation that Glenn had refined since their last attempt. The tumor had a secret. With the exception of the central part that secreted the toxin responsible for the crystallization effect, it was almost completely harmless. Given time, it would be reabsorbed into the rest of the nearby heart tissue with no ill effects. In other words, so long as the toxic segment was excised, yes, there was no need to remove the rest. This small change to the procedure would have made all the difference in Katarina's surgery. When Glenn discovered this during his research, the pangs of regret dug deep into his heart. However, Katarina and Sherry's words had turned his regret into gratitude. This refined technique existed and could be used to save so many lives, all thanks to Katarina's sacrifice. A small smile crossed Glenn's lips as he briefly reflected on all of this. A heart and lung machine was connected, and drugs were administered to temporarily halt Hugo's heart. Both were cutting-edge medical technology that Rufus had made special orders to obtain for the surgery. With the heart still lying still, Glenn carefully adjusted it to have a closer look at the tumor. Only removing the central part requires several extremely precise cuts. One wrong move and the walls of the heart would be injured, but if successful, they could safely extract the toxins while avoiding a repeat of Katarina's complications. Sherry folded her hands. "Katarina, please lend Glenn your strength," she whispered in prayer. Glenn slowly lowered his scalpel towards the darkened tumor. Sherry, Rufus, all the other doctors closely watched the sharpened tip, each of them holding their breath. Outside the room, Hugo's parents, fraught with worry, fervently prayed to the goddess for their son's survival. They had dutifully waited since the surgery began for what felt like an agonizingly long time, and they were nearly at their wits' end just as they thought they couldn't take it anymore. The operation light turned off. Their eyes snapped on the door, anxious for answers. Was everything okay? Would their son live? The door opened, and Glenn's large silhouette filled the frame. Hugo's parents rushed towards him, their desperate hope playing on their worried faces. Glenn looked at the two of them and slowly removed his surgical mask. Behind it, his face was covered with a wide grin. And chapter 14, my boy did it! Let's go! Glenn said, "Tumor schmoomer. Gotcha." A month later, in a private room at Ameria General Hospital, the sound of a violin drifted from Hugo's room. He made it. Both of his hands had reverted from their former tender softness, and their natural hue had began to be restored. Not a trace of unnatural green luster remained. However, sensation had not yet returned to his fingertips, making the task of deftly wielding a violin bow difficult for even one of Hugo's natural talent. Despite this, he could simply not wait any longer to return to his beloved music after being deprived of it for so long. His parents were visiting that day, and he tried to play an advanced song at his usual level for them, but the sounds of the violin gave off a series of shrill screeches. His parents forced smiles on their face and encouraged him, but Hugo didn't seem to mind one bit. "A genius such as myself needs to try some advanced avant-garde pieces every once in a while," he said with a cheeky grin, causing his parents to laugh. Lamau. I love Hugo. He could play the violin once again. That was more than enough for him. He couldn't help but be ecstatic for that fact alone. He continued to play his strange experimental piece, and the three of them laughed together. The sounds of the small concert drifted up to Glenn as he stood on the rooftop. Looked down at the city once more. He had stopped by the hospital every so often to observe Hugo's post-operation recovery. I hope he is still in the back alleys. Not for nothing. After finishing his regular medical examination, he had taken a liking to going up to the rooftop. He'd lean on the railing, gaze down at the city streets, and feel the breeze on his face. The sights from the roof seemed different to him now. The sights and sounds a little more warm and inviting. He still preferred the familiarity of the dingy streets he'd become accustomed to, but this part of the city was nice in its own way. On this peculiar day, Rufus and Sherry had joined him on the rooftop. "Glenn, are you listening?" Rufus questioned him. He and several others at the hospital had spent the last month trying to recruit Glenn. "Don't you think it would be best for everyone if you just worked here?" There had been an especially strong push to hire Glenn from the medical specialist that had seen his surgical skills firsthand. They considered it a regrettable waste of a man of his obvious skill to live in obscurity in the downtown district. Downtown District, Lamel. You invented an entirely new surgical procedure to reverse crystallization, Rufus told him as they gazed down the city streets. You can make a name for yourself here as a respectable doctor. However, just as every prior time, Glenn's answer was a stubborn no. There are many people that come to my clinic downtown, he explained. They depend on me, and I don't intend to leave them now. I might just be some back alley doctor, but I'm their back alley doctor, you know? Glenn said with a grin. I mean, although he treats corrupt politicians and he treats murderers, he also treats, like, not people who can't afford it, but like people who can't go to a regular doctor, you know? I think he said like immigrants and other people, just people who want like a medical procedure done on the hush hush, but still need a medical procedure even though they might not be doing the most illegal things. I see, a pity then, Rufus replied, a small smile flickering across his face. Sherry checked her watch and let out a small gasp. Doctor, it's almost time for your rounds. Rufus nodded and turned to leave, looking back at Glenn before he left. Then continue living as a back alley doctor, he said. Just be sure you can proudly tell Katarina when you see her next that the path you chose was one you don't regret. Oh, that's kind of nice, though. With this, Rufus left with a harsh type of encouragement from his old friend, brought an annoyed smile to Glenn's face. I don't need you to tell me that. Glenn and Sherry were left alone on the rooftop. There was an awkward silence between the two of them, made all the more apparent by the occasional screeches of Hugo's violin drifting out of his window, which is hilarious. The silence continued until Glenn, unable to bear it any further, wordlessly turned and began to make his exit. Before he could escape, however, Sherry let out a soft and that stopped him in his tracks. Dr. Glenn, I wanted to thank you so much for everything you've done, she said. I feel like I finally understand why my sister chose you. After a decade of being repaid, with a gun to his back, hearing such a formal, heartfelt thanks coming from the same direction threw Glenn off a bit. There's no need for that, he responded. His voice was softer and more sincere than normal. Because of you, I was able to understand what happened to Katarina. So I guess I'm the one who should be thanking you. Sherry was surprised by the sudden shift in attitude compared to Glenn's normal wry deflections. Now that I think about it, they told me that you didn't take any payment for the surgery, doctor. In recognition of his miraculous surgery, the hospital offered him a payment of mira. Though there were laws that restricted the amount they could give him, it was still an incredible sum of mira to an average person. Glenn had turned it down, however, telling them to spend it on Hugo's post-op expenses. What a lad. Well, I don't want to accept their chump change, Glenn said, quickly returning to his usual demeanor. But I guess once that brat's well enough to get on stage, I'll have him send me some free tickets to all his concerts. Glenn, the thought of the infamous back alley doctor, Glenn, attending a small, fancy violin concert brought a smile to Sherry's face. Doctor, do you remember when I first visited you? Sherry asked. I said that this wasn't a job from the hospital, it was a personal request. So if you aren't interested in the hospital's payment, her voice lowered to a soft purr, perhaps I could pay you personally. What? Suddenly, flustered, Glenn turned around only to find Sherry standing there giggling with a mischievous smile on her face. Glenn beat red and a tiny bit miffed at being the victim of such a prank, right? Crazy work. Turned and quickly retreated from the hospital. Now alone on the rooftop, Sherry leaned down on the railing where Glenn had been. She looked up to the sky cheerfully. He's a wonderful person, Katarina, she whispered, as a soft breeze fluttered by, and a few harmonious notes from a violin drifted up into her ears. She almost felt like she could hear her sister laughing. And that, my friends, is nearly an hour of the Back Alley Doctor. We read it, y'all. This is definitely the pre-finale. We're gonna get a taste of what is about to happen once we go to the place. But we're gonna I guess this episode is just gonna be wrapping up here. Do my eyes deceive me, or do you have the entire set of Back Alley Doctor? I've been meaning to collect all of them, but I wasn't able to find every volume. I have a proposal for you. If you give me the entire series, I'll give you one of my most precious antiques. Sure. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Wonderful. Everything here seems to be accounted for. Now, to uphold my end of the bargain, this may prove useful to you for Zamarian or Thanks, ma'am. But what exactly is this? You see, this is a treasure I obtained through certain means. Certain means? I believe it to be a relic of the ancient Sumerian civilization. It is incredibly dense, just like your friend over there. Hey. Don't talk about Randy that way. Apparently making it impossible to process even with modern technology. But perhaps it may be of use to you in your coming days. You never know. Okay. Rumor has it that Marconi and all of his men have up and vanished. Where in the world could they have gone? So you know about it too. Of course she knows. Well, when you're this close to their base, you're bound to hear what's up. Naturally, then again, too many aspects rather, of their disappearance rather, are still foggy. Even my sources in the Diet and the CPD leadership, okay, didn't prove me with any straight answers. That doesn't bode well. There is confusion on all fronts, it seems. Oh well, I'll have you kids and your fannies work your fannies off for me. Trust me, you'll have to rather if you want to get this incomprehensible situation under control. Yes, ma'am, you can count on us. We'll get to the bottom of what's happening. Okay, great. Now let me look. I think we are just need to get our stuff done in the on East Street, and we need to turn in our dishes. There we go. Then let's go and turn our dishes now, because I can't cook anything else. Unfortunately. Hey, I got some dishes for you. You have 21 peculiar dishes. Ready to show me what you've got? Yeah, I guess so. I can't make any more because I don't have any gelatin. Well, I'll go ahead and take those if you don't mind. Still, who would have guessed you'd find this many? Yes, this is it. I can totally whip up an original dish with this. Anyway, you guys are lifesavers. Just thinking about what would have happened if I didn't come up with a new recipe. What exactly would have happened? Yeah, you really don't want to know. Just forget I said anything. Alright, want to try a bite of the taste dish, rather? I still have to thank you all for your help. The taste isn't quite there yet, but behold, my creation, truffle and fish eyeball soup? Regardless of how it tastes, it looks absolutely horrid. It certainly is an odd combination. I appreciate the offer, but I'll pass. Really a shame, I was hoping to get some early feedback. Oh well, I'll just give you this instead. Hail to the chief. Obtain all recipes. Ripe onion soup. You remember that creamy soup that you gave me before, rather? Looking at this, I was struck with culinary genius. But it's still a little too plain, so I thought it wouldn't be that popular with the customers. Still, feel free to try it out. Thanks. Wouldn't a tamer dish like this be perfect for the new menu, though? Huh. You say something? No. Perhaps this palate is a little too sophisticated. Sweet, I'll go ahead and start sampling everything then. Thanks guys, if you ever need anything, I'll give you a call. We are available anytime, except for when we're about to go to the hospital. Okay, let's go and turn this in. Because I guess that'll give us our final Hey, how are you doing, Mimi?
The sunset's so pretty. I want to go home with Dad now.
Good on you, Mimi. Go home. Things are about to get serious here. Here in Crossbow, probably. Or maybe just to the hospital. Maybe I should be going from the hospital to the Sun Temple. Is that where? No, because the hospital's all the way down here. We'd have to go all the way up there. That's crazy. That's so far away. Check request. Yep, thank you. Tragic. I was hoping I'd get to the first class. Completed all quests. Oh, nice. I mean, you know, that makes sense. Class 2, we'll take it. Did I ever buy any more of these? I have one. Sure. I mean, we have the mirror for it. So let's go to East Street. We need to, nope. By East Street, I meant the downtown district. That's just where I like, yeah, it's just, it's downtown. Downtown District is the last place we need to do things at. Exchange our tea material for a divine cloth. Yes, please. Okay. You can talk to Vold. You can make equipment for the best equipment for your party at the factory. Let's see what we can make, I guess. You. No, you. No, you. Hey, punks, watch yourselves. You looking for a fight? Cause I got one you won't forget. Whoa, Vold, let's calm down. Who pissed in your cereal, bud? He's obviously in a bad mood, so perhaps we shouldn't stay much longer. I'm certain Wazi is much more capable of calming him down. Allow him to do it. Did I? Yeah, we had to talk to Vold. He didn't really give me anything fun. Sucks to suck. Alright, now, what I also want to see is, not you. Is Wazi here? Yeah. Vold's quick to get irritated. Our lives would be much easier if we could cure that short temper of his. You care for Vold a lot more than you let on, don't you? Have you been worried about the Saber Vipers all this time? I wonder. There's a part of me that just can't seem to leave Vold alone. Well, I'm a little worried about our friends over at Saber Vipers. You should probably get to work. There's nothing abnormal here. You should proceed with your... Thank you, Abbas. I hope one time there is something abnormal here. It was like, you should check on that guy over there. I don't think I made any of these, so... Oh, I need Mira? Oh, I'm broke. Here, I'm gonna go... I wish I could go to the bank, dude. And you're not a conventional seller, so I need to, like, go... Can I trade Sepith in here? Yes. So I need those, so unironically, I'm gonna get rid of wind. Because at this juncture, I don't think I can really get rid of... Give me this. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Come on around here. So, I can make 2 of these and 2 of these. We only have 2 divine cloths, though. What do I need? Do I not have that much Mirage? Oh, I don't have much more of the... I'll get another one of those. Well, I have one on somebody, probably. Yes. Yes, I need one more of these. Alright, now it comes down to, I have 2 Divine Cloth. Let me see what this gives people. Defense, attack, AD defense, speed +5. This gives you a boost to that. I might get one for Tio. I might do my 2 homies here. Not for nothing. I mean, I like Lloyd too. I think I might just do these 2. But I like you not dying. We only get 2. So let's just do, yeah, let's do TL. I feel like Randy can just probably tank something. Let's do the girly pops. Oh, I'm poor again. That's hilarious. Hold on, I gotta go sell something real quick. I thought I would have everything that I needed, but I was just 100 short. Shop. I could also just sell some stuff, but also whatever. There you go. Alright, come back around here. And let's go get Ellie's. Customize Ellie, will get yours. I was gonna say, as much as I think it would be great to have bonus defense on you two, I feel like you guys surviving something else to heal us is not like super duper like overly beneficial, but like, oh, you know what? He's only got like 72 on this wretched leather, so you know, maybe we do. There you go. But I think we have other stuff. Yes. And we got them some better boots, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I haven't really gotten really good boots in a minute. Yeah, like, what do our current boots do? 30? Yeah, we're doubling our current boots, so, you know, I'm okay with that. As long as everybody's got their boots, I feel okay. That being said, there goes our dodge, right? Well, I guess we have a little bit of... a little something. If I could change this, I said like we're not doing that, so I really don't want to. Just like you still have this Mishi plushie, you could have some way better, but I'm like, nah, you good. Alright, let me see if like, cause Power Suit is plus 120, and this is plus we got 4 of these, yeah, take that, and you take the Power Suit. I'm actually gonna give Randy the Power Suit, actually. What does the current one I have do? Good. Good enough. A buzzer beater for also, I need to double down and say that's a great name. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I feel happy with the team right now. The girls have a little bit of extra defense. I'm gonna actually save in a different slot just in case I want to do something different. We have all the recipes, which is nice. And I think that's actually everything that we need to do. Okay, so here's the thing. We definitely, I feel like, have enough for an episode. We do. That being said, oh hey! Finally, boy, that sweet package sure took its sweet time, rather. Starting to run real low, rather, on time here, so I better get the show on the road. Cool. Are you guys still around? Okay. Huh. There are quite a lot of people lined up for the bus. That's unusual for this time of day. Yes, that is peculiar. The most recent bus should have departed 5 minutes ago. Oh. Oh. Hey, buddy. The bus running late or something? Yeah, it looks that way. I've been waiting here for almost 20 minutes now, and not one bus has shown up. Oh, so I was gonna say, are just a bunch of people going to the hospital just for no reason? Why this happen today? Visiting hours will be over by the time I get there. Gotcha, thanks. Guess it's running late after all. Do you think the bus is having problems with the engine again? I like this scenario. This is the Lloyd Banning Special Support Section. This is Dudley. Give me a status report. Oh, Roger. We're able to secure the Bracers Guild's assistance. Lloyd explained that we are going to go look for people. So we're indebted to McLean now. Fine, at the very least we can count on them to produce results. I'm not trying to deal with the top brass on my end. Now that they've realized the whole mafia has vanished, they've gone into a panic. It may be a while before I can act freely. Understood. I just remembered your division was in charge of investigating the airport, right? What happened with the bomb threat? There's a strong possibility the whole thing was a hoax. We scanned the entire airport with an orbital detector, or orbital detectors rather, but nothing was found. Do you think it was related to Ravash's disappearance after all? We're looking into that. Wait, you said that you were at the south exit now? That's suspiciously close to the airport. You're not planning to stick your nose into the others' investigations, are you? You can rest easy, sir. We're actually on our way to St. Ursula right now. We still haven't received the results of the drugs composition test, so we decided to go and pay the doctor a visit. What? You still haven't heard back from him? I suppose I shouldn't have expected any more from you rookies, rather. You can have set... you should have set an exact time you need to contact you by. That's fair. Fair enough. Sorry, we'll have to remember that next time. It'll be much easier to convince the top brass to take action once you've found out what those pills are actually made of. So I hope this doctor of yours is able to come through for us. By the way, what's the man's name? Oh, we haven't told you yet? Dr. Joachim Gunther. He's an associate professor of neurology and pharmacology at St. Ursula. He's only in his mid-30s, but he managed to make quite a name for himself already. I see. Hopefully it means he'll come through with proper results. But... Huh? What's wrong? Hold on a minute. You said Gunther, correct? Does he have blue hair, glasses, acts a bit too carefree? Yeah, that sounds like him. Have you two met? Dudley? I met him for the first time 2 months ago. Oh no. I was investigating the man who tried to assassinate the mayor during Arkansas's preview performance. The mayor's former secretary, Ernest Reese. Wait. Sergey may have informed you already, but Reese was completely delirious when we took him into custody. So as a last result, we called his physician a man working at St. Ursula. Yo. I did say it. I was thinking about, like, it could be someone top brass, but I guess it wouldn't make sense if it was just Dr. Gunther, wouldn't it? Because it could just be his doctor. And thanks to his help, we were able to finally question Reese. Oh, well, never mind. Hold on a minute, Dudley. Are you telling me that it was Dr. Gunther? That he was Ernest? Yes, he was the physician. At the time, I was impressed with how knowledgeable and helpful the doctor was, but... Understood. We'll see what intel we can get off. Get without tipping him off. Good plan. Anyway, try not to waste any time. I'll contact you later. What happened exactly? Why did Ernest's name come up all of a sudden? From the sound of it, there's some connection between him and Dr. Gunther? Yeah, apparently. Lloyd explained everything Dudley told him rather to the others. That can't be. Hold on, let's think back a bit. Remember how Ernest's strength was totally off the charts too? Dude was cocky. That's why I was like, well, if we can figure out who did this to Ernest, we can figure out who the bad guy is. But this game has more than one bad guy, it feels like. But now it seems like we're deviating back to just one bad guy. But I know that there's a whole nother thing in this game, so this is, unless Dr. Gunther is like, I don't know, Super Dr. Gunther. I guess it could just be like, hey, it's actually like a double, and now we have to like fight the cult for a whole bit of time. But I also don't think that's the case, because it feels like this will be finished, but it will lead to something bigger. Dude was cocky as hell too. Now that you mention it, it's quite similar. You know what I didn't think about? I didn't think about maybe whatever Dr. Gunther is doing or accomplishes sparks out war between Crossbell and Calvard and Erebonia. Oh, shoot. That's also possible. We just gonna play. And if Ernest attending physician was Dr. Gunther, then what did you say right before that, actually? Now that you mention it, it is quite similar to Gantz's case, and if Ernest's physician was Dr. Gunther, then... I'll try calling the hospital's reception desk. We should make sure he hasn't gone anywhere. Yeah, that's a good idea. Nobody's answering the phone. It doesn't seem like the line is busy either. The bus is mysteriously late. The hospital suddenly isn't responding. You've discovered an unexpected connection between two people related to the case. It's all starting to seem a little too inconvenient, wouldn't you say? Agreed. The day's almost over. Let's hurry to St. Ursula. If we see the bus on the way, we'll flag it down and have it take us there. Right. Am I gonna actually walk to St. Ursula? Oh my gosh, I am. Holy heck. Oh my gosh. Freaking Gunther. I trusted him. I'm gonna be real. I halfway expect to run into like a fiend on the way or a handful of fiends on the way. You know what I mean? Wait, y'all think I can get back into the city? Can I? I have not tried. Because if I can get back into the city, from this point in the game, I probably can actually get some... Oh, I can. I was gonna say, I can actually get some clear gelatin from... I've already done it. I don't know if I care. Unless I'm literally 1 point from getting the first class detective, I do not care. But if I'm 1 point away, I do kind of care. Because I could definitely get clear gelatin, I think, from those things. And something else around here. But it is what it is. The bus has already left. Bro. That's what you get. Very good. We love that 2 experience we just got. And some dumplings, baby. Okay, well, whoops. So here's the thing. What if I get, like, you know... Did I get any clear gelatin? I did. Here's the thing. I'm not sure if the thing would have still been around, though. There it is. Is it the bus? Why is it stopped here? And actually, doesn't the bus look completely empty? Yeah, it sure looks that way to me. Tio, mind checking in to see if anyone's around? Just a moment. No luck. I failed to detect any presence within, of any people within a 10-cell radius. Damn, I was hoping that wasn't the case. From the looks of it, it wasn't attacked by monsters, though. Yeah, it pulled over and parked too neatly for an attack. If I had to guess, the driver pulled over voluntarily. Either that, or there was a situation that forced him to stop. We should check inside the bus. Right. There's a Mishi plus. A plush. They left their gifts and flowers behind. There must have been... These must have been rather for the people that were visiting the hospital. It looks like a Mishi plush. Could this be a get well soon present for a sick child? Yeah, probably. Right. Yeah. Understood. We'll leave the communications up to you. We'll continue on our way to St. Ursula. Yes, sir. We'll be careful. What did the chief say? He's going to contact Tangram Gate about the situation. If all goes well, we'll get Deputy Commander Bales to provide us with support. Oh, really? That would be a great help unless Deputy Commander Bales is also... So now I'm suspecting everybody to be not a part of this. I think it's really Dr. Gunther and this drug at this point. But at the end of the day, I also think that there's still something going... Oh, but it could just be we break out into war because of Dr. Gunther doing something stupid, dude. But if that's the case, I feel like... What's gonna happen to Kia at the end of this? And I feel like if something is supposed to happen to Kia at the end of this, like she becomes like a whole again, maybe that actually is what sparks the war. Maybe it's a war over Kia or something stupid, or not stupid, something silly like that. But the other people don't know about Kia. Well, I guess at this point, maybe Kilika and Letcher know about Kia now that I'm thinking about it, because they were both at the auction. Oh, dude. Oh, man. Okay, now I'm thinking all sorts of possibilities again. We're not doing another half-hour theory session to start our next episode. Maybe 10 minutes at most. No kidding, the Deputy Commander is one of the most reliable people in the whole state. Shall we continue to the hospital? We're almost there. We might even find passengers on the way. Maybe they continued on foot. Maybe kind of strange that they'd leave their gifts behind, though. I agree. Either way, we should hurry to the... The hospital. The sun will be setting soon, not the hospital. The hospital will be setting soon. We got some very, not strange music, I don't want to go this way. I'm sorry, where am I? No, I need to go this way. Yes.
敵集団の戦闘を開始
Oh my gosh, these guys explode.
新手か王道だぜ
Good job.
私のそこです敵集団
Alright, let's keep going.
撃破しました
Pardon me, sir. It's been so long since I've actually walked to St. Ursula. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're here. This feels like it's the point of no return. Same day at 6:50 p.m. Crossbow's longest day. I feel like we've had longer days. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Oh, the gate is closed.
日が落ちてしまったわね
It's already dark, huh?
でも
But look,
屋外の照明はとも
the
かく
lamps are lit, but the
建
actual
物の
building
明
is
かりが
pitch
つい
black.
てどう考えても様
This
子が
can't
い
be
い
good.
まだ
huh?
早い時間なの
Also,
に
it's too early for the gate to be closed.
警
huh?
備員の方は
Where's the
どこ
cars? Huh? Well, we need to hurry and check. Uh-oh.
こいつら
The Warhounds?
マフィアの軍用犬
It's Ravash's Warhounds.
気配を
I didn't even notice them sneaking up on us.
後ろからもです
On our 6-2. What? Oh, and Ravash's
あ
goons?
んたたちは
Ravash.
姿が見えないと思ったらこんなとこ
Where
ろ
were
に
they hiding? What the hell are you guys up to? No words?
問答無用みたい
It's
な
no use trying to reason with them.
気をつけてください
Those guys were pretty mouthy before. Everyone be on guard. I have a bad feeling about this. Get ready. Okay. Oh, these are new scans. Yeah, these are all new scans. Interesting. I don't think I'll have another chance to turn in my scan, so... Oh my gosh, they separated just enough. Well, you guys are gonna actually attack us first, so let's do this. Now. Potential for KO. I don't know if I can KO. No, they resist everything, which is kind of hilarious. They don't. So we really want to focus on you, dorks.
行きます分析を開始します入手しました
Sure.
俺の番だな
I'm gonna hit the dog's actual... I don't want him to die. I want my scan.
赤きを
The Scorpion. Yeah, that dude definitely would have died. He would have been a goner. You know what else I should have gotten more of potentially? These battle scopes, because I feel like we got some work to do, huh? A physically enhanced member of Ravash.
さてと
So, on the wonder drugs.
分析を開始します入手しました
任せろ
He's almost not blind anymore. That's crazy. We're gonna have to beat this guy out. We missed him. We missed him twice?
行くぞ
私の番です
It's about time you hit him. Yo, what is that guy? We can't hit him for nothing.
行くぜ
Yeah, blind everybody again. Finally.
俺の番だ
Yo, you hit him? You're blinded. He's shooting blind.
私の番です
We've never tried Absolute Zero. Go ahead and give it a try.
私の番
Lamau, they're both frozen. Hilarious. Get this guy.
行くぜ
Rough him up.
行くぞやっ
Oh, that was a great death sound, actually. Oh!
私の番そこです
Alright, perfect. Go ahead, Lloyd. Good job.
これが
Absolute Zero, pretty good. What does S-Tablet do? How are they so strong?
やっぱり例の薬で
They must be using the drug just like we thought. The Warhounds too, I bet.
しかし
Sure, but what the hell was up with them?
一言も喋らないで
They didn't say a single word, they just walked up and attacked us.
情の揺らぎが
I could hardly sense any
ほとんど
emotion
感
coming
じら
from
れ
them
ま
at
せん
all.
これでは
It almost reminds me of...
こいつら
They're back up?
完全に無力化した
I should have knocked him out cold.
苦悩
This is the power of
心の
Gnosis.
力どうす
Well,
れ
what
ば
do we do?
やれやれ面倒をかけてくれる
Irksome pest. I was gonna say, that sounded like,
今の針は
Are those needles?
いい
Yin, did you kill them? No, I simply struck their pressure points with needles to cut off, the flow of their
い
chi.
かに体を
No matter how much strength... shouldn't you be busy at your practice? Or your performance? They will be asleep for a while. Thank goodness.
しかし
You sure have a kneck for showing up out of the damn blue. Did you come to investigate Ravash too?
ザオからの依頼で
I am here at Kao's request. But it seems that this simple request will be more vexing than I thought.
グノーシス
I always believed this Gnosis was nothing more than a rumor.
どうしてその名前を
Where did you hear that
あな
name?
たたち
Just how much does Hue know? About as much as you all.
ルバーチェ殿の
Ravash's disappearance, the existence of the D, therefore G cult, and its remnants.
それ以上のことは
Neither Kao or I know anything beyond those two pieces of information.
そうか
I'll take you at your word.
そちらの目的はどうだ
Regardless, Yin.
今は緊急
Listen, Yin. Regardless of your intentions, Saint Ursula is in a state of
おそ
emergency,
らく病院内は
and odds are that the mafia is currently occupying the entire
一
hospital.
刻も早く
It's our job to verify whether the hospital is safe
確認しなくちゃならない
and act from there.
いい
Now that you know that, rather, will you work with us again? Lloyd? What the? Oh, you want me to work with you? Are you actually requesting assistance from someone you've tried to arrest? Someone you've labeled as a criminal?
言っただろ
Like I said, this is an emergency. And besides, I get the impression that you're here to uncover the truth yourself.
だったら
In that case, you'd benefit from rescuing. I kind of hope that we learn Yin's identity now. You know? But I feel like that's going to be a next game thing. You'd benefit from rescuing eyewitnesses just as much as we would.
あくまで対等
You
な
want to work as
協力
equals
関係
until this matter is resolved then, is that
い
it?
いだろう
Very well, I
こ
will
の
help you.
だが
However, if you start to become a burden, I will act of my own
私は
accord.
それでいい
Is that clear?
あ
That won't be a problem.
たくも思い
I'm
切り
used to
がいい
making
という
special,
か
unexpected decisions, but
こうい
still...
う時のロイドさん
Yes, the
は
Lloyd tends to surprise us in situations like this.
うだうだ
Hey,
迷ってる
now's not the
場合
time to
じゃ
talk.
ねえそんじゃ
Let's hurry up and check on the hospital.
あ
Right, our top priority is locating the hospital staff and confirming their safety. Once that's done, we can ask them what's going on here. Understood.
了解です
Roger that. Let's be off then.
セシルね
Cecile, please
ど
be
うか
safe.
無事でいてくれ絶対に
Just hold on, everyone.
みんな
To
助
save
けて
you. Oh man, this is a really good stopping point. Yin is oh my gosh. Heck yeah. Okay, you know, we didn't use Homeboy pretty much at all. In terms of Dudley, but I'll tell you what, we gonna put Yin in the party, you better believe we are. Hold on a minute. Hold on a second. Tactics. Yo, Yin's level 35 like us? Okay, y'all shouldn't be that afraid of Yin anymore. Like, hold on. We got better defense than Yin? 260? Everybody got better defense than Yin. Strength? 331? Yes. No, but I don't expect you to. No, but I don't expect you to. You're getting there, little lord. You're getting there. I think if I rearrange your ornaments, you could be there, my guy. But right now, you're not. But it's okay. You're all good. Ooh, 40 dex. I didn't know you had 40 dex. Good on you. And you got 90 dex. Okay. We're cooking. Shmovement 10. Okay, Lloyd's got some crazy shmovement out here. Good for my boy. Speed 49. Okay, but Randy should be a little slower. Okay, you a little slower. Okay, you a little slower. That's right, my boy, Lloyd though. Hey, you think you fast? My boy can keep up. You know what's even faster? His brain. You know what's even faster than that? His fishing rod. Oh man, I think here's the problem. I think I do end here. But we certainly will be. Oh, there are warhounds everywhere, dude. This place is swarming. Yeah, we'll be back next time. This I think next time is actually going to be the end of this game. I did all of the kind of arduous things that I wanted to do this episode. And I'm now kind of thinking in terms of actual playtime. I think we played for about an hour there, and then an extra 45. I think we have close to actual 2 hours of playtime. So if you're just watching for the gameplay, I'm gonna give you a little bit more then. I'm gonna give you even though there's a perfect stopping point, let me give you a taste of what Yin's capable of. I at least want to see Yin's like S-craft, you know what I mean? I feel bad for taking Ellie out of here sometimes, so, but I might get new scans, so Ellie, you're coming out. Yin, baby, Yin! Look at that, that's so dope, actually. I don't know if y'all are new scans. Well, I guess I've technically seen your S-craft, right? Yeah, I sure have. We like the moon! The moon! That's not the moon? Okay, great. And then just take him out. Great. Oh, well, you know what? We got a nice a reviving balm from these, so I wouldn't be mad at, like, quote-unquote getting these. I think there was something listed in the comments here as a suggestion. I think there's something in every room. Because we are officially in-game. You'll be able to enter all rooms except the ER for event/DP. I'd recommend talking to everyone in each room. Okay. Very good. More of them already. Seems they're not interested in talking. Everyone look out! Are you guys new scans or... Nope. Suffer, then. Well, Tio gets to go anyway, so I'm gonna actually have her... So I don't think her craft for Absolute Zero is that large. Yeah, I would just be able to Absolute Zero one of... Oof. Oh, if I had not pushed him in the other direction, I probably could have Absolute Zeroed both. I'm gonna try and freeze him. It worked. Got him. Which means everyone wail away on this guy. Have a bad time. Free. Silly goose. Good job. I'm actually gonna put Ellie back in. Damn, they were just as tough as the last batch. Once again, I detected almost no changes in their emotional state. I think it's possible that they're not acting of their own volition. Well, what do you mean by that? Are you saying they're being controlled somehow? Yes, though I can't prove it. In the East, there are certain techniques which incorporate drugs and hypnosis to produce such an effect. Knowing that, I'd say the hypothesis of yours, rather, is not an impossibility. That's not what I wanted to hear. Damn, that sounds pretty messed up. But mind control, that ain't Garcia's style, no matter how you look at it. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. For now, confirming the safety of everyone in St. Ursula takes priority. While we're here, let's try searching the dormitories for anyone. Alright. Interesting. So, now, we gotta pay attention to, people are... Have I ever been able to go in here? I gotta want to if it takes me to like a different part of the thing. Like, I don't think I've ever been into these two rooms. Oh hey! Eek! Who are you? There are people in here. Wait, you were those police officers, aren't you? That's right, we're the CPD. Once we realized something was wrong, we came to check on everyone. Oh, we're safe, thank adios. I started to assume the worst when they dragged us away from the bus. Hold up, you guys were from that bus that was parked on the road? Yes. On the way here, a bunch of those mafia guys stood on the road blocking the bus. After that, they held us at gunpoint and made us walk all the way here. Oh, our driver tried to fight back, but they shot him. So that's what happened. Everyone, please wait here for just a little while longer. I promise that we'll come back safe. To take you someplace safe. Okay. Thank you so much. Damn it, I have a friend who's in the hospital. How do I know she's alright? Or he's alright, rather. We haven't been able to contact anyone in the hospital. I hope Clark, Sarah, and everyone are okay. And you? The bus driver is being treated in the next room over. I hope that he'll pull through. Okay. Noted. That's a bus. These are all bus passengers, I suppose. I'm so glad you're all here. I'm terrified about what might have happened to us if we were kept locked up in a place like this. I wonder if Yin knew, our brother. Those guys in the black suits, did you get a good look at their eyes? It's like they aren't human. Like, when I look at them, some of them, some kind of silent dread grips me. Look in their eyes. Oh, I mean, we don't usually look in their eyes. They're usually wearing sunglasses, actually. Crap, why did this have to happen? What did I do to deserve this? Calm down, you'll be fine. Oh, hey! Martha! Good heavens. It's the police. Oh, Scourge! Nurse Martha, I'm glad you're safe. What a relief. What are you doing here? Does this mean it's safe to go outside now? No. Not yet, we've only just arrived. We're checking out whether everyone is safe and accounted for at the moment. Okay, understand. Seems like you've got some injured folk with you. Unfortunately so, our security guard and bus driver. Oh, the security guard too. Yeah, dude, he is there. Those men shot both of them. I administered first aid as soon as I could. Good thing you were around. Are Cecile and the others still in the hospital wing then? I believe so. The men suddenly showed up during work hours, so I think most of the staff and patients are still here. I happened to be here when on break when everything happened. I should have been there with everyone during a crisis like this. Martha, you don't have anything to worry about. We're going to save Cecile and everyone else, no matter what. Please stay here and keep watching over the injured, Martha. Okay, thank you, everyone. Those men used force against the patients and the staff and the patients, rather. That's unforgivable. I resisted like a mad woman, but they easily overpowered me. I'll leave the hospital to you four. Now go. Well, what about Yin? Whatever. Now go and save Cecile and the other patients. Okay, I'm going, but I want to talk to, well, you're KO'd, I suppose. Oh, no, you're not. Ugh, I didn't expect you to actually shoot. But as soon as that guy raised his gun at me, I saw my laugh flash before my eyes. Poor dude. This is all a dream. Yeah, a dream. It was all a dream. Curse. Stay with me, Tony. Remember, because you intervened, the bus driver wasn't shot a second time. You're both still with us, so you have to stay strong. What a mess. Since, oh my gosh, that's actually really sad. Since there's no medical equipment in the inn, the best I can do is give him general first aid. The other man is already has already broken into an awful fever, and I only have 2 hands. Dude. Guess we're running low on luck too. Seeing as you came to the hospital at a time like this. The bus driver and I tried to fight back and in return got shot. Damn it. Some security guard I am. Supposed to be St. Ursula's. I'm supposed to be St. Ursula's security guard, but they were able to trample over me like it was. Well, nobody expects a gang of mafia with guns to show up to a hospital. I don't deserve this position. Dude, oh man. Tony, no, you're the best, man. I should have talked to Tony more, dude. Tony. I had a checkup scheduled for this evening, then I got wrapped up in all of this. Anything else? Okay, no. Great. Okay, let's head up the stairs, I guess. Hello? So there's nothing in here. Interesting. Hello, Weesnaw? Nobody? Okay, great. Hello, Weesnaw? No? Nobody? Okay. Oh. Hello, Weesnaw! Let us finish them.
さあ始めるとしよう。
Oh man, I didn't mean to use hers. I'm not gonna be gone. I'm not gonna get hurt from these doofuses. Ridiculous. Smoke grenade. That's kind of nice. You okay? You okay? Oh wait. What's that? There's something under the bodies of the unconscious mafiosa. Hospital key. A key? Looks like it belongs to the hospital. Must have been a snatch from one of the workers. Think we can use it somewhere? Yeah, let's go test it out. Oh, well, I found that accidentally. I feel like now I need to go back and check under these two. Okay, nothing. Great. Alright, let's head up to the 3rd floor real quick. Hello. Hit the guys in the back. We're about to mess you up, sir. Respectfully. He was like, you just killed all of my friends, and now we will kill you. And by kill, I mean knock unconscious, respectfully. Great. You got anything on you? None? You about you? No? Okay, great. Oh, I wanted to check these rooms before you rudely interrupted me. The girlies! Huh? No, stay away! Calm down, we're with the CPD. You literally know us. Wait, it's a girl? You said the CPD? Are you here to save us? Yes, right now we're checking on the staff and the outpatients and taking care of the intruders. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to ask you to wait here a little while longer. Okay, we can do that. Just be safe, everyone. How are y'all feeling? We've just gotten off work, so we were chatting in our dorm. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of men in black suits and dogs came barging in. I was so scared I couldn't move a muscle. But now that you're all here, we can finally relax, even if just a little. Everyone, you have my sincerest thanks. Those men in black and their dogs are still on the prowl, right? Siron, stay by my side. Oh, look at that. Oh, you care about the girlie. Cecile and the others are still working the night shift in the hospital. Please, you have to save them. In the meantime, I'll keep hiding out here with where Mifa, where it's safe. Whew, I feel so exhausted now that that I know that we're gonna make it. Why are my legs shaking so badly? I should probably sit down, but I can't find the strength to move. Oh, girly. I was hoping he had a little bit of extra dialogue. Like, Cecile, I'll find you. I'll make sure you're safe. Save here. Ooh, this is blocked off. Oh, they're forcing me to go up. Which is smart. If I were Dr. Gunther and I were still in my lab causing mischief and mayhem, that's what I would want to do too. Alright, well, we're here at this point. Let's head on up. I wonder if anybody is like, Incidentally fishing. Oh, no, you ain't gonna get me, son of a gun. Open this door. Door is locked. If we use the key we just found. So here's the problem. If he is mind controlling them, why would he just give some of his mind controlled lackeys the key? I think he would care the least about them. Kia, do you know why he would do that? No? Okay, I don't know either. Let's go in. Dude, nobody anywhere. There's no staff or patients anywhere. Not a trace of the mafia either. That's not true. I can sense people throughout the building. The hospital staff and patients are likely hiding in a number of different rooms. Yes, I'm detecting the presence of a great number of people, including the mafia. That's so. Guess that means things are really gonna start picking up now. Yes, let's proceed with caution, everyone. Alright, dude. Oh man, they've done a really good job of turning this area into something not spooky per se. Oh wait. What do you got? We already have like an action something Gemini gym, right? Yeah, we got like action. Well, that's speed, so that's a different one. EP Cut 3, we got one of those, right? Yeah, we got 2 of them? No. Hey, I got some for you. Oh, you can't use EP Cut 3. Well, I mean, you could, I suppose. Can you still... Ooh. Oh, we might want to give that to, like, Randy. Oh, you can't... Why can't you... Oh, because I have Heaven's Eye equipped. So I need to put EP Cut here. And Heaven's Eye here. Even though I feel like this is becoming... I mean, it's still useful, for real, so she can keep it. And you can have EP Cut 2, because we just don't need it anymore, so it's yours. I think we had another EP Cut 3, and I just stole that from you from no reason. I'm sorry. Kind of. I'm not really that sorry. Did we get a big, beefy red gem yet? No? That's fine. Yeah, that's okay. He has a bunch of 3s, which is nice. He has hit 2. I don't think we have hit 3. I'm not sure if there is a hit 3. There must be. Yeah, we do have hit 3. Sure. That's fine by me. Speed, heal. I think I have heal on you just because it's nice to have you potentially with a healing move. I might give you something else, to be honest. Effort, Lamau. But I'm not entirely sure what yet. I think just before the last episode, we might work on that. Move 3, yeah. I was gonna say, you don't have really anything that I want to steal, per se. Okay, I was just making sure. I'm also gonna put Ellie back in the party, because, you know, she's the girly. We had Yin for fun. For funsies. I don't know if I want to go to the medical offices first. I don't want to, well, I mean, okay. Well, I was gonna say, let's start at the bottom and move around. An ambush. I think we're the ones doing the ambushing. What other crafts do you have? Dragon Claws, Exploding Talisman. What does this do? Ooh, okay, that's kind of cool. And then a line attack. Oh, yeah, baby! Right down the middle. Not that it really did everything that I wanted it to do. Oh, do you not have enough? Oh, you have 23. We're gonna have to, like, wait a turn for you to blind these two guys. Ouch. Alright, so you focus on this guy, because Randy's about to blind everybody else. Or I mean... There we go. Oh, they lived! That's kind of crazy. Well, Yeah, I was gonna say, that's still actually gonna kill him. It does a little bit of damage, and as long as I got a little bit of damage to go. Y'all got anything? Y'all got anything? No? Okay, great. Are y'all okay? What's up, Doxa? Lloyd! Sarah, thank goodness you're safe, and thank goodness somebody knows my name. Like, it's the police. You're the police, right? You've come to rescue us, haven't you? Sure have. Right now, we're checking up on all the staff and patients, clearing out the intruders. It is still dangerous, so please wait here for a little while longer. We understand. There's a lot of employees and patients upstairs. Please save them. Leave it to us. Leave it all to me. Calm down, Flora. Deep breaths. If you let something like this bother you, how will you ever become a doctor? You have to stay calm. But I'm sorry, could you please give me some space right now? Okay. I finally felt at ease once that massive fence was installed after the whole monster attack fiasco. Who the heck would have guessed that the Mafia would flat out attack us, rather? Receive funding for all over Zamoria, rather. If this situation isn't handled delicately, we'll have an international crisis on our hands. That's what I'm saying. That's my other prediction. I was gonna say either Crossbell, like Crossbell's top brass, like the mayor or something, are maybe like doing something else behind the scenes, or something else is going on, and whatever Gunther does here might incite war from both sides, or at least give reason for both sides to try and take Crossbow. I've always assumed the Mafia were under more organized leadership, but apparently not. Considering the circumstances, we'll have an international crisis. I wish he didn't say that. I think that might be more so what we're leaning to instead. There are a lot of employees and patients upstairs. Please save them. Yeah, I know. And you? Despite being in an insane situation, I managed to stay relatively calm. Maybe Dr. Belden, sitting under him, Dr. Belden rather, is paid off. After all, he's as level-headed rather as you can get. I sure hope the doctor's alright too. Taking the time of day into account, the possibility of our outpatients getting caught up in this rather is far too high for my comfort. There were gunshots fired, I'm sure of it. I truly hope everyone at the dorms is safe rather. Well, there are a couple people that are shot. Oh, is there nobody in here? Oh, dude, I figured at least one person would be in here. Dude, dang. Then I'll walk upstairs, huh? Okay. Already? Let's show them what we're made of, huh? It's so weird because I always go into, not all of the rooms in the hospital, I go into all the rooms on the top floor for the most part, but it's weird to just be here and be like, dang, we are for sure under attack, huh? Kinda sucks. Randall Orlando gets murdered. Thank you. Didn't do as much murdering as I would have liked, but you know, it is what it is. There we go. If only that didn't miss. Well, that missed too, so I guess I can't complain that much. Yeah, we're fine. I might try to... You have anything on you? No? You have anything on you? No? I might try to... as we go forward, and this episode is probably about to end. As we go forward, I may try to more specifically do something. What was on my mind? It's gone now. Just hit everybody instead of actually doing attacks. Here, let me use these real quick. And by doing attacks, I mean using crafts. I was gonna say I'm gonna start saving up my my CP. Because I don't really think I need the CP to beat these guys, for real. Hey everybody okay? Wait, I recognize you guys. Randy and Cecile's little brother. I have a name. Lan. Oh, it is Lan. Glad to see you around, safe and sound. So am I. Are all the patients here with you? Well, the ones assigned to this room are, but as for the rest... Are those guys still prowling? With the Mafia, rather? Prowling in the halls? Yes, unfortunately, they're still on the premises. We are suppressing them as we go, but our main priority right now is locating the hospital staff and patients. It's still extremely dangerous outside, so please continue to stay here, for the time being. Fine, if we have to. Ada, Philia, Cecile, should still be somewhere in the hospital. Please find them. Just leave it to us. We'll stay here and comfort the patients, rather. It would be terrible if their conditions worsen because of the situation. Lloyd, everyone, please save the others. Okay, great. How do you feel, sir? I'm usually fast asleep at this hour, but I'm wide awake now with all this hubbub. How are you? Okay, I gotta pull myself together. In situations like this, you need more resolve more than medical skills. I can't be a nervous wreck in front of these patients, otherwise I'll make them more anxious. I have to keep a smile on for their sake. Just calm down, calm down. This is impossible. The more I try to calm down, the more I freak out about everything. I'll freak out. Thank you. You. Was that really gunfire going on earlier? That's preposterous. I must have misheard. No, there was. What's with all the noise? This can't be normal. It just can't be. Another dude here, did he get moved to this bed? Or maybe he's gone. It would be great if he were just not around. Nurse's station. Anybody? Nobody. Oh, wow. It's weird seeing this place empty. And especially not the nurse that's usually right there. That sucks. Oh my gosh. What are y'all doing here? Admittedly, they should at least be using... I will still be using Crash Bomb. I was gonna say... we should still be attacking this guy. If we wail away on him, which is fine. It's fine. Oh, Ellie will help us, actually. What is she gonna give us? Nice, defense up. Sweet. He's sealed. We got another 3 turns. Oh yeah, we're about to rough you up, dude. I'm not sorry. Go. I was gonna say we didn't use our S-crafts, which is great. You got anything? You got anything? Nope. Okay. Well, let's check out 202 real quick. We're almost on the 3rd floor. Oh, Dr. Belden! The special support section. Lloyd, Randy? Ada, I'm glad you're safe, huh? Oh, Ada! I do recognize her. It's usually down by the lake area. Glad you see you got some patients here, too. If you're here, does that mean those mafia goons have left? Not yet. We're still clearing the line as we make our way to the hospital, but we want to make sure that all civilians here are safe first. If that's the case, would you rather we stay put? I'd assume it would be too dangerous to move now. Yes, that would be wise. Leave everything to us, at least until it's safe to go out again. Very well. Thank you, everyone. I think there's one other patient left in one of the rooms on the 3rd floor. If it's just one... that's weird. I figured it would be, what, Michael? Is that his name? The kid's name? Or the other guy. I thought there were 2. Cecile and Philia should be with him. Please, keep them safe. Right. Okay. Dear Idios, this is terrible. Is the hospital going to be alright? Yeah, the hospital, well, actually, I don't know. Thank Idios this didn't happen when my mother-in-law was visiting. Things look bad, really bad. Am I even safe here? For now. Hey, wait a second. I'm still recuperating, so I can barely even walk right now. Ow, 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 wait. What do I do? There's no way I can run away like this. Ow, 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 ow. Until this starts to turn around, I plan to give the patients my undivided attention. Hopefully I can be a bright spot in this dim situation. Don't do anything crazy, okay? Come on now, take deep breaths. If you move too much, the stitches will come loose. If you stay still, you'll be perfectly fine, okay? Fair enough. And you. We're so lucky Dr. Belden is here with us. I doubt the nurses would have been able to calm the patients down ourselves. To be honest, I'd like to check how things are in the other rooms, but I'd only end up getting hurt, wouldn't I? Yeah. There we go. Alright, let's save. I'd like to at least see Cecile before we end the episode. Because I was gonna say, we're gonna have a boss fight, we're gonna have probably a whole lot of dialogue. And this is a long episode already. So this is gonna be a little bit of a 2-parter. Yeah, nobody's in this room. Are they in? Hold on, this guy might be new. No, he's not new. Hey. Hit him with the moon. Oh, your moon one sucks, girly. Oh, I've done this wrong. I've made a mistake. Actually, we're still dodging like Timbuktu, so maybe we should just hit people out. Never mind, I'm just gonna continue doing what I was doing. We're just gonna, that's a crit, so maybe we actually hit the wolf. He's gonna heal himself and try and hit us, that's fine. Very good, you got a good hit. At the very least, your attack's very good, so that's nice. That's very good. Y'all have to have something, right? Nothing? Really? Okay, well, fair enough. Wait, you're not Cecile.
Oh, it's Cecile's little brother, and Randy too.
It's a real relief seeing you safe, Philia. That's right, Philia. If the CPD is here, does that mean everything is okay now? Unfortunately, there are still intruders moving around the hospital. Well, maybe not that much, actually. We've taken care of most of the floors. Hey, isn't that... Yes, the janitor, Mr. Dyson. Oh. You're right, that's not the congressman dude. He suffered a severe laceration during the commotion. Oh, and that's a serious laceration. I patched it up as well as I could with the first aid kit, but I don't think he's in any immediate danger, rather. Still, I'd feel better if I kept an eye on him. Thank you, Lytton. Thank goodness you were here. That reminds me, where's the patient who was staying here? Representative Gable was supposed to be in this room, but he was nowhere to be found when we ran in here. He's definitely probably taken some of that wonder drug. Huh? I wonder where he could have run off to. Oh well, he was faking whatever he claimed to have anyway. I don't think we need to worry about him too much, Lamau. Okay, well, we'll try and confirm his safety just in case. That reminds me, Philia, do you know where Cecile is? Huh, Cecile? I could have sworn she had gone back to the nurse's station right before all this happened. Wait. Didn't Nurse Nuez go to check on room 103, the one Michael is in? I remember her mentioning that she was going to read him a book since he was lonely after Suzuku left. Room 301? We already checked that room on our way here, didn't we? Yeah, but that place is empty. Seriously? Where the heck is she? We'll continue searching for Cecile and Michael. They're probably together. You two focus on treating the wounded, alright? Sure thing. Okay, now that we're here, I feel like there's a world where we're so far away. I guess we'll probably maybe promise. I don't know what's going on anymore. Sure thing. Be safe, guys. Dang. Okay. So this should be in 3, but we already checked 301. We literally were just in there. Right? Why would she have gone back in after, like... Damn, they aren't here after all. Maybe maybe they're hiding under the bed or something. Maybe they're... Thank you, Ellie. I think I would have noticed if that was the case. Correct? Wait, what? The bed is still warm. The occupant was here not too long ago. With that nurse as well, Cecile, was it? Damn, come on, let's keep searching for them then. You got it! So then they left this room. Are they in here? Oh yeah, there's somebody in here. I was gonna say, I've never been able to go in here. Huh? Oh, that's where you are. Please spare me, I beg you. Who the hell is this guy? Representative Gable of the Imperial faction, the same one Philia mentioned. Who are you ruffians? Are you with the Mafia? No, we're with the crossbow support section. The special support section. Mr. Gable, what are you doing here? You blind boy, I'm hiding. The Mafia must have come to get rid of me once and for all. Speaker Hartman, you worm. I can't believe you so blatantly try and get rid of me like this. Ellie, what is he talking about? He's deluded himself into thinking this is all about him. I wouldn't be surprised if the speaker only barely knew who he was. Yes, I get the feeling that you're right. Anyway, the police, you say. I order you to take me with you and get me out of here at once. I'd rather not die today. Yeah, sorry. No, we haven't completed our super hospital yet. There are still unconfirmed people out there. We have to be make sure they're safe before conducting any evacuations rather. For now, could you return to your room and wait for us? We're taking out the Mafia in this area, so you should be able to move safely if you're quick about it. Who do you think I am? I am one of the most important representatives of the crossbow diet. I am irreplaceable. What an annoying, sniveling man. Would you object to me putting him to sleep? Excuse me, who are you? Wait, black outfit. I can't help but feel like I've heard about you. Oh, you don't say. Perhaps you've heard of a little rumor about someone in Huey's employ. Does that ring any bells? It can't be! I think there's enough teasing for now. Mr. Gable, this is a state of emergency. Please cooperate, go take shelter in your room and stay there. Fine, have it your way. Drive those goons off at once. Yeesh, for someone who's supposedly sick, he can sure. Well, they know that he's faking. We know that he's faking now. Nurse Felia did say he was faking whatever ailment he claimed to have. We wasted enough time with him. Let's keep searching for Cecile and Michael, not Michelle. I do want to see if I can read anything on these walls, though. No? Okay. None of these books. Yeah, I guess we'll keep going. I'm gonna check Shizuku's room. No? There's also this room that we've never really gone to. That's unfortunate. That means that they're probably with our villain. I was gonna say, I expect us to get attacked. Is that them? No, this ain't looking good. Oh, that is bad! Those aren't the regular goons. I'm gonna have to scan them.
Miss Cecile, what do we do?
Shush now, everything's going to be just fine. Just hold on to me and don't let go. We're going to run back inside the hospital, okay?
Okay.
I don't know if we'll both be able to make it. But if I can pull this off, maybe I can at least get him inside. Mom, Dad, Ilya? Lloyd guy. I'm sorry. Cecile? Hey, Lloyd was tough with that one. He was like, we ain't even fighting this fourth one. Nah, y'all run. It's the police. We can talk later. Get out of here. Keep your distance from the battle. Okay, well, homie will not get a chance to go, so, potentially not get a chance to go, because these guys could be pretty tough. I would like to battle scope Death Moon. I like the sound of that. Uses powerful water arts at will. Very weak to ground. Noted. Okay. Actually, is it blindable? Oh, honey. Hey. You missed one? Well, I guess we'll attack this. Oh, but they use arts, so I don't actually expect them to do a lot of missing. You in the back, you're very, well, what is it? Because they seem a little bit tougher than the normal. Nope, they're actually very schmurderable. My bad. I thought that they were a little bit less than schmurderable. Okay, well actually they're using physical attacks, so yeah, we're just gonna deck this man. So. I was gonna say they're gonna have to set up for arts anyway, so yeah, let's wail away. Goodbye, Death Moon. Those are your regular warhounds. The Lloyd, everyone, you saved us. I don't know how. Hey, get out of here. Get to safety. Hey, now, don't give us any of that that I owe you stuff. What matters is that you're safe. I'm relieved we made it in time. Yen? Adios, you're okay. Something happened to you. I don't know how I could ever face Guy again. Lloyd. Oh yeah, Michael, are you okay? Hey, are you alright? No, he's having another coughing fit. Michael, let's take you back to your room and find you some medicine. Okay. I'm sorry, Mrs. Seal. It's my fault we're out here in the first place. No, it's your fault. For real. Shh, don't you worry. Everything's okay now. Seal, let me carry him. Let's get you back inside, safe. W. I was gonna say, I want to make sure my boy Michael okay. You know, I've got to make sure he survives, gets over his coughing fits, so he can hang out with Shizuku, you know? Because, you know, look, I see he's got a little crush. It's cute. So that's what happened then. I can't believe Dr. Gunther would. We aren't 100% sure he's involved yet, but we're like 99% sure he's involved. There's a world where he might not even be quote-unquote Dr. Gunther, you know what I mean? Is he still in the research ward? I don't know. It's possible he's still there along with the other doctors. As far as I know, the Mafia's only dragged some of the residents so far. I see. Before that, what was up with those monsters just now? Never seen anything like them. They sure as hell weren't normal, right? I agree. I got the sense that there was something off about them. They must be the Mafia's doing, right? I'm not sure, but they first appeared in the research ward. In a matter of seconds, we were surrounded. This research ward appears to hold the answers we seek. Time is fleeting, shall we? Let's go. No, we're talking to everybody over here. First of all, he's slumbering, thanks to the medicine. She knocked him out, baby.
Whew, looks like the medicine's finally kicking in. Michael's sleeping like a baby. That's great to hear, Cecile. Oh, right, guy's badge. I should tell her that I found a memento of him, shouldn't I? No, what am I thinking? Her plate is full as is. Laying that on her now would be an unnecessary burden. I'm sorry, Cecile. We'll have a long chat with after this is over and done with. Lloyd, is something wrong? Don't worry about me. I'm just thinking. Oh no, we gotta chat with our Cecile. This is where we're gonna end, by the way. I understand what you're telling me, Lloyd, but it just can't be true. I can't accept that Dr. Gunther would be a part of something so appalling. Sure, he likes to play hooky and indulge in his hobbies, but he was always such a kind doctor who loved his patients. Okay, well maybe it's not actually Dr. Gunther? Like, is there a world where, like, Dr. Gunther was, like, there was a Dr. Gunther that we actually knew, and then our Dr. Gunther was killed, potentially, and replaced with a Dr. Gunther who was a part of this cult, you know? That's a possibility, too. I don't know. I just can't accept, that Dr. Gunther would be a part of something so appalling. Was his entire persona at St. Ursula just an act? Maybe. I'm sorry, Cecile. I don't know. That being said, this is where we hit the road. I'm going to end here, and this is going to be the penultimate episode. Next time we are finishing. We got no reading to. Well, actually, there's one more reading thing that we should do. We have a new edition of the Crossbow News. Let's see what's going on in the news before we end this thing. Gunshots heard late last night at Huey Trading Center. Raided suddenly, anxiety spreading amongst the residents living near the scene, heavily damaged. What is Huey? Huey is a trading company headquartered in the eastern quarter of the Republic. 10 months ago, they established a branch here in the Harbor District. It appears that they conduct various commercial transactions under the audit of lawyers. Why were they raided? The question remains, why was such a company rated as such, let alone with heavy weapons, according to the branch manager, Cal Lee? I don't have any idea about the reason for the raid. However, I imagine as a trading company rather, we may have rivals. There's a possibility that among them, someone chose to express their unjustified resentment, he said. I'm terribly sorry to have caused this neighborhood such a great concern and trouble, he said, bowing deeply. They got a good shot of him. Tension remains even a day after the incident. A sense of tension hangs in the air. The CPD are under pressure to unearth the truth of the incident quickly. Breaking story, the budget committee concludes. The diet's prolonged budget session finally concluded this afternoon. Mayor McDowell and Speaker Hartman had an instance back and forth regarding the ideal municipal budget, but with a compromise the mayor proposed, an agreement was narrowly reached. The finalized budget will be released at a later date. It really does still seem to be the mayor and Hartman back and forth. It doesn't ever seem to be like a Calvardian. Like, it just feels like that they're going so under the radar here that, you know, because they've also been a problem, but they're going very under the radar. Like it makes you think that like Arabonia are quote unquote the bad guys in this crossbow area, and Pilot, you're a silly goose. Calvard are like the not bad guys, and they're like not as aggressive, but like they've been problems too. That we'll continue. Airport mysteriously closed. Ooh. Crossbow Airport has been closed since early this morning. The CPD blockaded the area, explaining that they were performing a special facility inspection. With regular airport operation temporarily offline, chaos and confusion began to spread, and lastly, mysterious disappearances. We received a number of reports of missing persons in Crossbow City. As it is unclear what the rumor is, and what is rumor rather, and what is fact, we are conducting an independent investigation, which is neat. We will follow up in a future issue with our findings. Very cool. So, we're ending here. I'm gonna be real. In terms of what I think is going to happen in this game, I don't think much has changed since the start. In terms of my, well, actually there's one more thing that I feel like I should add to the corkboard, because I think it could be right. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I do think that the answer to this is whatever happens here could spell all-out war for Crossbow. It could force Arabonia to respond, and it might be exactly what Speaker Hartman wants, but we know that Ouroboros is not the cause of all of these cult shenanigans, but they might be the cause of something else in Erebonia, and because of whatever's going on in Erebonia, that sparks like, oh, this is happening here, let's invade. That I'm like, that could be an answer. We'll see. Right now I have no idea. But we're gonna find out next episode, I suppose. And it feels like we're not gonna find out everything. I can only, since Yin is in the party, I have the sneaking suspicion that we are going to get the answer to, oh my gosh, who is Yin, for the group. Very clearly, we know. We know it's all Risha, but, I'd like the group to know. But I don't think the group's gonna find out until the next game. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, because I'm just trying to envision what is going to go catastrophically wrong. And it's related to what Kia is, because I'm sure we're gonna figure out what Kia's deal is at the end of this. And it's going to be a prolonged problem that sparks something in the next game. I'm basing that fully off of my Trails in the Sky playthrough, where everything seemed to be solved, and then we learned something, and it sparked a lot of stuff that made me say, well, I guess I gotta start the next game next week. Before it was Joshua, revealing that he's gotta go, that he has, revealing his past, and then kind of knocking Estelle out and saying, well, I'm out of here. And that going forward to be like, oh, well, interesting. Well, no, that's not good. I feel like something like that is going to happen. And I feel like instead of... But I feel like being like the key to Idios is what I'm gonna call her. Kia, you know what I mean? I feel like that's not like something that'll cause like a generational rift. But I think if a lot of people learn that's what she is, and I think that kind of is like why people are so like, oh my gosh, Kia's so great. Kia, like, no one ever has a bad thing to say about Kia. Kia literally fills people with like good vibes, you know what I mean? They'd like almost like restorative properties of Kia. So I think that really may be what is being leaned towards in terms of Kia. I guess I could see that identity being a problem. Maybe they're like, I would hate to say they're fighting for Kia, and it's just like a war over Kia, and I don't think Idios would like a war over one of her children. Maybe it turns into a divine war, and maybe a phantasmal blaze, and maybe maybe this really gets deep, and they like, they really hate what Idios really hates what's going on. I don't know. I'm spitballing. I'll do maybe a little spitballing session, like 10 minutes at the start of the next episode, but we're closing out Trails from Zero next time, and it feels like it hasn't been that long. But I'm excited for Azure. I've really enjoyed this game. I really have, and like, I think, and it makes sense, this game does like, because we're not doing that much exploring, it just feels like, and I think that's kind of how I felt with like Trails in the Sky. Whenever I went back to Roland, I was like, oh man, it feels like we're home. Because we spent this entire game in Crossbell, be it Crossbell is a big city, and it has its like other paths. It feels like Crossbell is home for me in this game. And this team feels like a real found family, because they aren't from like I mean, they are from different places clearly, but like, I didn't have to travel around and exchange party members. I've had them the entire time. There wasn't like a lot of switching going on. And maybe that's the big reason why they feel like such a... I'll expound on some of my feelings about this game, but I actually really have enjoyed this game a lot. We'll talk about that at the end credits of next time, I guess, but also, I feel like I won't have too much to talk about because this is going to definitely continue with Trails to Azure in likely 2 weeks' time. So, until next time, until the finale of this game, legitimately, I'm taking off. Toodaloo Flight Crew. Thank you for watching.